Whoa, 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 whoa!
Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna need new glasses.
Don't worry, you're covered.
Choose benefits without the mess. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
And you're clarifying this now. But there's a public perception that that was part of a apology tour, if you will. That this had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f*** yourself.
But
go f*** yourself.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. My trusty sidekick, Eddie Bader, is in the studio.
How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Hanging in here like a hair in a biscuit.
That's gross, man.
Yeah, especially if you're halfway through the biscuit.
You excited for the debate tonight?
Nah, not really.
Yeah, me neither.
No, I'm going to dinner with some friends, so. Yeah.
But I'm going to watch it because I do like me some Vivek.
Yeah.
I do enjoy watching me some Vivek. And now it's only going to be, what, Chris Christie, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, and Vivek Ramaswamy. Tonight in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
There's a big write-up in the New York Times even about how Alabama politics stands in the balance, and they're now in the spotlight of conservatism and all this stuff. And they're, they're trying to ban books and fight against LGBTQ rights for children.
I see.
Yeah, I don't. When is it that your daughter figures out she's a big les? Like 5, 6?
College.
Oh. Anyway, we got plenty to get to today, but as is tradition now on Wednesdays to kick off the show, we have Jeff Poor, host of the Jeff Poor Show there at 106.5 FM in the Mobile area, but also editor-in-chief at 1819 News. Jeff, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Always great to have you on the program. Now, I believe did you get to see Vivek Ramaswamy in person last night?
I did. I made the trip up to Birmingham. He did a pretty decent attendance. About 300 people came out to see him. But yeah, at Ross Bridge in Birmingham last night, he was one of the speakers.
Yeah, well, I'm interested in what you thought because I'm literally wearing a Vivek shirt. It's the first time I've ever donated to any presidential campaign. So let's just say I like the guy and his message. But from you seeing him present himself in that room, what were your big takeaways?
So here's why I think it is good that he's on the stage. I think it's important to have the aspirational sort of figure that talks big picture ideas, that talks about policy. Because, like, instinctively, Joey, I think we know the right thing to do. Maybe, like, that we need to protect the culture and protect, like, 8-year-olds from weird sexually explicit books, and like why you need to lock down the border, and why some of the trade policies with China are bad for the middle class, or you could go down all these populist things that Donald Trump did are at least espoused during his presidential run and during his presidency. But like we don't spend a lot of time on the why. what we spend a lot of time on is kind of the ad hominem and the back and forth there. And a lot of people like a guy that will push back against some of the personal attacks and level some of his own attacks, and that's fine. There's a personality there. It's a stylistic approach that is really appealing. But I think it's somewhere along the line what we lose is sort of like, why do we believe this? Why is a Donald Trump brand of populism best for the country? Why does that put America first? Why do we even want to be America first? Why do we support meritocracy? Why do we believe in all these ideals that line up with the conservative side? And what Vivek Ramaswamy does is I think very clearly and very plainly articulates that. Like, this is why this is the best way to go. It's really kind of it's refreshing. Now, look, is he presidential? I'm not quite there yet, but he is a very, very important figure in the movement right now.
Yeah, and I just find him across the board impressive. I expect the next president will be President Trump, if it's going to be any Republican. But Vivek actually, he seems to speak to my generation. That's what's resonating with me so much, that it's not even exactly the literal words he says. It's more I have a sense that he's read a lot of the same books I've read, watched a lot of the same stuff I have, and then he's even better with the amount of success he's found in a young point in life. So, I wish I had been there last night. I'll put it that way.
Well, the other thing I would add, I think that's such a great point, is like the world's so different now, and like understanding like how much screen time and how that world functions, the tech sector, how Wall Street, even high finance, and because a lot of this is getting lost right now, especially in a conservative movement that is trying to really embrace like a more American style populism closer to the people, and I appreciate that. But in the meantime, they've kind of like, they're not really keeping up with the times, or they're not really keeping up with all these new technologies that the left is embracing, or whatever they're doing at South by Southwest, or I don't know, things like that. But they're important. They're markers, and you need to know how to navigate the world. You don't necessarily need to be, they always say in church that you don't want to be of the world, but you need to be in the world. And Ramaswamy offers you the best sort of roadmap to be in the world.
Again, folks, we have Jeff Poor here on the line. And, a little later in the show, Jeff, we've got Bradley J. of Breitbart from Washington to kind of give the behind the scenes from his Washington perch on Tuberville dropping his hold. But that was the big news that broke yesterday afternoon. What is your take on, now that this seems said and done, that Tuberville has, given up, not completely, but pretty much given up on the hold here?
I think mildly disappointed, not totally unexpected. We've been hearing about this since right before Thanksgiving, if you recall, that the end of the holds was coming. Look, I understand the reasoning here, and I'll just say this about it. Think back to when Reid, those of you that remember, during the Bush administration, the Democrats, Harry Reid, had these holds on judicial appointees, right?
Right. None
of Bush's judicial appointments were making it through. And Reid had the holds up. They continued. And at some point, McConnell said, we're just going to change the rules. And right after McConnell changes the rules, I mean, you just see this flood, this wave of Trump appointments making their way through the system. It's really fundamentally changing the federal judiciary. What Tuberville was doing, perhaps, was going to force the Senate to change the rules of how they appointed military officers, flag officers. And look, you want to have that tool in your tool chest later when you need to slow things down. That's number one. But number two, if the Senate is successful in changing the rules of how these officers are confirmed and to go and run the Pentagon and all these different places within the Department of Defense, would we see a wave of Biden appointees come in and just really fundamentally change the military landscape to be more woke, more left, as we saw with the judiciary? I mean, maybe not as pronounced, but I think it's something you really got to think about when you talk about changing the rules of the Senate.
Yeah, and it looks like what made this end was a bunch of Republican senators now threatening to change the rules and join with the Democrats. And, well, I guess Tuberville realized that's too far. We got to end this thing. But it's unfortunate. It's not shocking, to your point, that D.C. works this way. But it is disappointing. But I still, my humble opinion is I think Coach did the right thing. And I don't think this hurts him with, say, the conservative voters in the state as much as it hurts Doug Jones hard. I don't know if you saw on the X platform, formerly known as Twitter, Doug Jones did a whole, Christmas Carol story that, Dan Sullivan is playing Ghost of Christmas Present. And I'm like, Doug, what is somebody check on Doug? Is he okay?
Just a weird dude, man. The bizarre behavior not out of the norm for a former U.S. Senator from Mountain Brook. But I'll say this, too. One thing Tuberville got out of it, Joey, was the 4-star officers are still on hold. And you're like, well, that's maybe a moral victory or something. But here's what it took. I mean, Schumer had to take those and put those aside to get all these other officers confirmed. So there's still a hold out there on the highest level of military leadership based on this whole abortion question and the way the Pentagon ought to handle abortion.
Yeah, and I think Tuberville's description of this as a draw is about right. But we'll see where it goes ahead with the actual policy put forward by the Pentagon. And I'm now seeing, and this is your top story there at 1819news.com right now, the House Judiciary Committee put out a report that finds the FBI analysts failed to assess, quote-unquote, potential bias and credibility of the Montgomery-based SPLC when they categorized Catholic groups as potential terrorists. And I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, I don't think that's the first time there might have been potential bias and credibility issues with the SPLC's reports. But how is it that this little organization, they're not that little, in Montgomery, Alabama, still has this outsized influence within the federal bureaucracy, federal law enforcement, and so much of the corporate press?
Isn't that something? That it takes an act of Congress to determine that the SPLC is a left-wing storefront. Surprise, surprise. And this is just kind of a crying shame about the whole liberal takeover of some of these institutions we knew as left, but we have to treat as if they're nonpartisan and they're unbiased and they're very objective when they make their pronouncements. And you could go down the list here: SPLC, ADL, ACLU, PETA, whatever. That they don't have they don't believe in taking sides in politics. But as it turns out, I guess after several years of offering nothing up but right of center or right wing or whatever you want to call it, conservative institutions around the country as the biggest threats, that now we can declare that these are liberal organizations with a political agenda. Like I said, why did it take an act of Congress? It probably tells you everything you need to know to figure out that the Southern Poverty Law Center is nothing but a left-wing storefront in 2023 that wants to come after conservatives, yet it's being treated by our federal bureaucracy as something as impartial and objective. It's just a farce.
It really is a huge farce. But I appreciate your time as always, Jeff. If folks want to check out what you're writing about, thinking about, how could they do so?
Twitter or X or whatever, .com, /Jeff_4.
Well, there you go. Well, appreciate it, sir. We'll talk again soon.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
And Jeff Poor, their editor-in-chief of 1819 News, also hosted the Jeff Poor Show there in the Mobile area, 106.5 FM down there. Why don't you check them out if you're in the area? And now let's bring in our panel here. We've got Eddie, we've got Sky trying out the new microphone here.
Yeah, let's see how it works.
Oh, it sounds good.
Sounds like it's working.
Okay, not too hot.
Yeah, not too hot at all.
Just right.
All right. Well, gentlemen, how do we feel about the SPLC? Any thoughts?
They got deeper pockets than I got, so.
Oh, now you chicken? Chicken.
Well, you don't want to get labeled a white supremacist,
Right.
bomb throwing.
They can get you thrown off flights, and I like to travel, man. I'm sorry. Call it what you want. Do your own research.
I understand they managed to bank quite a bit of change over the years.
Yeah,
down there.
and they've had their own internal struggles, to say the least.
Oh, I forgot.
A little bit of hypocrisy, perhaps.
Oh, well,
But
that's the
who am
worst
I to
thing,
say?
right? The
That's-
hypocrisy. Not the actual grab ass or the sexual assault or
Do
harassment.
your own research.
Wasn't full on assault. It was just harassment, right?
Well, I think that's what
It's
they
all
settled.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
But allegedly comes
Right.
with a check.
Right.
So,
That's still like,
what do you have to say? What do you have to say about them?
they're a left-wing shill group.
You want to go down there and protest them?
Not
With
really.
some signs?
No, I'm not of the left. I'm not going to use their tactics.
All right, what are you going to do?
I'm going to complain
Call
like
me
a
chicken on the
like
radio?
like a madman on the radio. That's what I'm going to do.
It's
beautiful.
No, the way you beat somebody like the SPLC is you just get people to ignore them.
Right.
I mean, oh, you again.
Yeah, I've ignored them forever, but that don't mean I don't want to have to start paying attention soon.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
favor.
fair. That's fair. Hey, we got to hit a break, but first, Sky Mosley, tell us about the Alabama Gazette.
Very proud to be associated with the Alabama Gazette. That's your conservative hometown newspaper. Over 24 years serving the river region, central Alabama proper. The Alabama Gazette, it's a real newspaper you can hold in your hand and get informative, honest, trustworthy news without all the distractions. That's the Alabama Gazette. They've always been about community, and right now, once again, this year, this Christmas season, the Alabama Gazette will be presenting 10 people with $100 cash.
Oh, yeah?
Just for the holidays. Deserving people might be having a little bit of a tough time, and $100 goes a long way. That's what the Gazette is all about, giving back to the community. For information on how to nominate deserving people, you can find the Gazette at many fine business establishments throughout our area, throughout the river region, and retail, doctors' offices, what have you, restaurants. If you don't see the Gazette there on the counter, ask them why not. And remember this number, 356-6700. That'll put you in touch with the Alabama Gazette. Also, a excellent opportunity for advertising. A ready-made audience, people who share your values, your views. 356-6700. Advertising with the Alabama Gazette is surprisingly affordable and extremely effective. Again, 356-6700. The Alabama Gazette, the people's paper.
Appreciate it, Sky. We got to hit a break here real quick. We'll be right back. More news and views in the afternoon after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
This holiday season is about more. Not more presents and shopping, more you. That's why at Montgomery Men's Health, we're celebrating the season of connection. Connecting with your family, with true friendships, and with yourself. We're treating erectile dysfunction with the least invasive, most advanced treatment options. We've been the local support team helping men get that spark back in the bedroom, on the job, at the gym, and everywhere life takes you. To celebrate this season of connection, we're giving away free B12 at our Montgomery clinic with every office visit for those who medically qualify. Our commitment is to take care of men, because men who feel alive will change the world. Don't wait to experience the difference our team at Montgomery Men's Health can make. Do it for your career. Do it for your family. Do it for your love life. Do it for you. Because the most meaningful present you can give is a man who is fully present. To give the gift of you this year, call now, 334-440-3663, or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to set up a consultation and lab panel today.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prival Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
The fall sale is on, and there's never been a better time to upgrade your floors. During Prattville Carpet's biggest sale of the year, find deep discounts on Mohawk flooring for every room in your home, plus interest-free financing with approved credit. Get new floors before the holidays with huge discounts. Visit PrattvilleCarpet.com or call 285-8117 today.
Prival Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a famous broadcaster.
Hey man, what's happening?
Now, I understand you radio people move a lot, is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, how does this affect your taking care of your retirement money?
Oh man, I don't give that a second thought because my buddy David Ernest, he's my money man.
Your money man?
With the money plan.
I see.
So no matter where I go up and down the dial, David has my back, you know?
I'll bet you know some phone numbers our listeners could call to talk with David Ernest.
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
And he has a website at retirewithernest.com.
Hey, you're on top of it today, man.
I also understand that you hold some sort of a record in broadcasting.
Yes. I was the first person to put together a show with myself, a duck, a chicken, and a goose. But it didn't last long. We got taken off the air.
Why were you taken off the air?
Too much foul language, man.
Oh, my.
So I wasn't crazy about that one myself.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1. WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader and Sky Mosley in the studio with me.
Place to be.
And we have William
From noon to 3.
on. Yeah. Oh, I like that.
I liked it.
Yeah, we have William on line 1. Hey, William, how you doing?
Hey, guys. Good afternoon. I've just got something real quick for you since Eddie didn't want to say much about the SPLC. I've got a nickname for them.
What you got?
I call them Alabama's homegrown cultural terrorist organization.
I see.
Cultural terrorist organization.
That's right.
That's got a nice ring to it.
Sounds official.
That's all. That's all I had for you.
Appreciate it, William.
Thank you, William.
No, and you know, sometimes it depends on which side you're on, but you're like, Star Wars, we're the rebels, so we're the good guys, right?
I don't know.
We're blowing up the Empire's stuff, right?
I don't know. There's an argument.
That's how it works in the
There's an argument to be
film.
made about Star Wars, though. Who is really the good guys?
Really?
Wait, you're seriously going to stump for Vader and the Empire?
Just saying. Who is really the good guys? The rebels? Really?
No, I mean, sometimes
Did I miss something?
Well, it turns out sometimes there are no good guys.
That's true, too.
Like, not only are the Jedi corrupt, but not only is a Sith Lord taking over the Senate, but everybody's corrupt. It's like everything needs to be kind of just taken out.
Some people don't appreciate a strong leader like Vader.
Now you're starting to sound like Trump last night.
Just saying.
I don't know if y'all saw this, but Sean Hannity did a town hall with him, and Trump said something to the effect of, you know, Hannity laid all of the criticisms that you're going to be a dictator, you're doing this for vengeance, or retribution, and and you're angry, and you're gonna like break with the Constitution. He goes, "I'll only be dictator for one day."
That's what he said.
And on that day, I want to close the border and drill. So it's like, wow, what a dictator.
I wish we could see like a vote meter when he says things like that, because I could see it just
the
going
New
off
York
the chart.
Times ran with it. The Washington Post ran. Everybody ran with it. He should. The Biden-Harris campaign put out dictator on day one, and people are sitting here going, "Wait, like Julius Caesar, like Augustus, like Napoleon?"
He's a lot taller. You don't have half the issues Napoleon had.
Yeah, I don't want a dictator in this country, but I would also like to make something clear that you could have tyranny with a dictator for sure.
Certainly.
But you can also have tyranny with a mob.
Yes,
for sure.
you can. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you could have tyranny with like a small group of people, like a committee or a oligarchy like we have in this country.
Yep, could have that too.
Yeah, all of them, all forms of government, the one, the few, or the many, classic forms there, they could all be tyrannical. They all have a dark side.
Even college football committees.
Right. So sometimes you might want to take, say, a king who actually believes in liberty over, say, an executive committee that doesn't believe in your liberty at all, say, like a Politburo that's communist. Would you rather have a strong president or just more tyranny in the name of an oligarchy that drapes itself in democracy?
I'll take the strong president for 200.
And it's also interesting, the most dictatorial presidents we've had, they're hailed as heroes. So what's
Isn't
the problem
that amazing?
here? Like FDR.
Or Lincoln.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people died and a lot of people were impoverished, but they were great, right?
World changing.
No, we do seem due for a strong president in a crisis. I don't, again, really want it, but you just see how things are going.
He said he's only going to do it for a day, right?
Yeah, only for one day.
Now, is that a 24-hour day, or are we doing a couple hours here, a couple hours there?
Well, it's kind of like a day in the Bible. You remember Genesis? Mm-hmm. Genesis 1?
Yeah.
1?
Oh.
In the beginning?
Other kind of time.
I see.
Yeah. So you got to love Trump messing with the folks in that manner.
He just calls the shots and they dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll find the clip a little later in the show. But coming up, we've got Erica Thomas of 1819 News calling in. She's got a lot of kick-butt stories. She's actually the reporter that got in touch with the Alabama Democratic Party chair, Mr. Kelly, I believe, and talked to him about that Tuberville's Hitler tweet. So I'd love to get her take, given that Erica's the one who actually talked to the gentleman. She's also got a story on a man featured in the S-Town podcast. He was shot and killed by Woodstock police, Woodstock, Alabama.
I saw that.
Yeah. Also, get a load of this story. Gulf Shore's attorney. Now, it's not a Montgomery. It's a local story down there in the south of the state. So we normally wouldn't cover it, but he's sentenced for smuggling drug-soaked paper into a prison.
Oh, wow.
What is drug-soaked paper?
LSD.
No, into jail. Not
acid.
Prison. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think that'd be like the last thing you'd want in prison. But
well, it sounds like it was spice. into a Monroe
really?
County detention center.
I didn't think about that. Yeah,
Wow.
the way they used to prepare like that K2 stuff, you could basically it become a liquid, and you just sprayed it on whatever you want.
I've got it on my little phone here, but that guy kind of looks like a Batman villain.
A little bit.
Yeah, so
A little bit. Central casting.
let's hit this break. We'll come back with Erica Thomas of 1819 News after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with the updated market report. Over the past 11 and a half months, over 4,100 homes have sold and closed in our MLS system with an average price of $245,000. Houses are selling at listed price throughout the river region, and over 35% are selling in the first 30 days on the market. Rising interest rates tend to keep some people from buying, but it didn't stop over 4,100 families from buying this year. There is a cost to waiting and expecting rates to fall, and that cost is appreciation, which has been rising nearly every month for the last 2 years. So the house that you delay buying this year could cost you $35,000 more next year, even if the rate falls. One alternative is to buy now, refinance when rates improve, and that way you are not paying more for the house that you really wanted. For the facts, call Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather.
We've got some chilly air to deal with for at least a couple of days before we start to moderate. Today will be a rather brisk day. Sunshine, but chilly, high in the middle 50s, but northerly winds gusting as high as 20 miles per hour will add to the chill. Clear and cold tonight. Low temperature down to about 31 by dawn on Thursday. Look for cool sunshine tomorrow, high in the upper 50s. Friday's nice, with a high around 66 and more sun. Then the risk of scattered showers and thunderstorms arriving by Saturday afternoon, becoming likely Saturday night, and early in the day on Sunday before ending. Saturday's high near 70. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors & More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors & More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Were the mics off during the break? Good.
Boy, you made everybody's eyes open up.
I made Sky Mosley almost had an aneurysm there.
I'm leaving town.
Well, without further ado, let's go to the phones and talk to Erica Thomas of 1819 News. How are you this afternoon, Erica?
Howdy, Joey. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing quite well indeed. And I want to start with a story that went big last week, and I think it was picked up by Citizen Free Press. It was a very big story for 1819 News. But the headline is, "Really Doesn't Bother Me. Alabama Democratic Party chair doubles down on Hitler-Tuberville comparison. Quote, white folk media, unless you've been under a rock, is racist too." What's he got against folk music?
Well, yeah, this story was crazy. Every time I do a story with somebody, and I just have a conversation with them, you know, and so I just had a real conversation with the Alabama Democratic Party Chairman Randy Kelly, and this is where it led.
So were you a little surprised by the tone? Like, kind of just because you met him at an event and you got a little time with him? Describe how the interview went down.
No, actually, I saw the comparison of Tommy Tuberville to Hitler, and I called several people to get Kelly's phone number, so I did this on a phone interview. And we got on the phone, and everything was pretty cordial. He kind of put that tweet on someone else that is for the Alabama Democratic Party. He was like, it wasn't me, it was her, and kind of was trying to distance himself from it at first. And then the more we talked and the more questions that I asked, the more I saw his true colors coming out. And the thing that struck me, just because I have been a journalist for over 15 years now, and every time I do stories, like I said, I just try to open my mind to whoever I'm talking to, because I really want to get to know anybody. I don't care, what your affiliation is. And so when he said that he felt that CBS 42 in Birmingham kind of misrepresented what he said, that struck me. And so the whole time I said, this is going to be a really quote heavy story, because I don't want him to be able to say I took anything out of context.
Right. Well, and there's some of these quotes are some whoppers. I'm glad you actually have it on the record. For instance, quote, and this is Randy Kelly, the chairman of the Alabama Democratic Party, quote, really, there's a lot of Hitler and a bunch of white folks now. Huh?
He said that. I obviously did not take that out of context. He kept using the term white folk media, which I'm really not sure what he means by that. He was referring to Nexstar, which owns CBS 42 in Birmingham and several stations across the state. They pretty much cover the entire state with their market. And the connection here to Montgomery is the CBS 42 news director, Rob Barton. He was the news director at WAKA in Montgomery for years. I actually worked for him there. And so I interviewed him on this story too, and he was just, he called the Montgomery reporter and spoke with her about her story, and he said, you know what, we attributed all of what we said to him, and this is what he said, and there's no way we misrepresented what he said.
Well, it just seems like this is, I don't know, no wonder the GOP keeps winning elections in this state without having really great results in the legislature or anywhere else, given these are their opponents. I'm not surprised at lack of trust in media. Yeah, maybe there really is a deep mistrust of the white man's media, whatever. But it just seems like we could do better than this. And I just find it hard to believe that this is really what Mr. Kelly believes.
I don't find it hard to believe at all that what he said is exactly how he feels, because it was a 45-minute conversation. And I feel like, the longer he talked, the more honest he was. And people in Alabama don't want the race card played all the time. They don't want blaming everybody else for everything. And to me, that's what it felt like. And this man is a man of God. He's a pastor, and I could hear him starting to preach to me, directly to me, towards the end of our conversation, when he was telling me how I feel about things. And he just had this preconception of who I am and what I'm doing based on the color of my skin. And so to me, anytime you go into a situation like that, you are being racist.
What's the line from the New Testament? Neither Greek nor Gentile, you're not... it's St. Paul essentially cutting through all the identity stuff of that age. It's a shame to see a pastor of any stripe fall into something like that. Really is a shame. But I want to move on from Mr. Kelly's rage against the media, so to speak. And you're going to have to help me out on this one, though, Erica. Maybe you too, Eddie. A man featured in S-Town podcast shot and killed by Woodstock police. It's here in Alabama. You're a big fan of this podcast, S-Town. Eddie, are you aware of it much?
No, not much. I did a little bit of research when I saw the headline, but
okay.
That's about it.
But tell us what S-Town is and what came about here.
So S-Town is a podcast that came out, I don't know, it had to have been 5 years ago or so. It blew up in popularity. The podcast focused around possible corruption in the town of Woodstock, and S-Town stands for something else, as you can probably guess. So I listened to this podcast when it first came out years ago, and it was the first podcast really that I ever listened to all the way through, and I was absolutely obsessed with it. I listened to it every single day. I just couldn't wait for the next episode. It was like finding a good book. And at the same time, it was shocking to realize some of the characters that we have here in Alabama. You know they're out there, but to hear some of the things that happened in this podcast was just mind-blowing. And so I remember this guy, Joseph Goodson, from that podcast. He was one of the friends of the main character, who was John B. McLemore. And at the end of the podcast, McLemore killed himself by drinking cyanide. In real life, that really happened. Like, a podcast it's not a fake podcast. This is true life. And John B. McLemore had been talking to the guy that's doing the podcast, and at the end, he just couldn't handle life anymore, and he took his own life. And when he died, his property and his estate was up for grabs, and his really good friend, this guy, Joey Goodson, was one of them that thought he was owed some of this property. And so we fast forward years later, and this guy has remained active on social media. And then Sunday, he posts on there, quote, "Police about to shoot me down in my own yard." He posted that on Facebook. The next day, we get a press release. Joseph Tyler Goodson shot and killed by police.
Ooh, do we know, have the police released any report on their description of what happened, why they had to shoot this guy?
They didn't release any details. This is obviously going to go under investigation by ALEA, the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency. And at this point, they're doing an investigation, and they will present their information to the Bibb County District Attorney's Office, and it'll go from there. But right now, they're just not, ALEA is not going to release any information, because a lot of times these cases end up going to a grand jury, and so they want to protect that information to maintain the integrity of that investigation.
Now, another story just came out today, and this is in the Gulf Shores area, but it caught my attention, though, because of what attorney folks smuggled drugs into a jail there. But drug-soaked paper? I've never heard of drug-soaked paper. What was this?
Well, so the attorney is Michael Santos. He's from Gulf Shores, and he was caught smuggling the drugs into the Monroe County Detention Center to a federal inmate. It was one of his clients. They caught him on surveillance camera, went to his car, found all the evidence. So the drug that was on the paper is spice. It's also like a synthetic marijuana type drug, which they call it synthetic marijuana. It's really just really dangerous chemicals. Right. And a long time ago, you used to be able to get this stuff at the gas station. They figured out the game, and law enforcement has since been able to identify those products and make sure they're not on the shelves at gas stations anymore. But at that time, I would say this is about 10 years ago when it started being a real problem, a little more than 10 years ago. The police said, you can put spice on anything. You just spray it. So it might look like marijuana, but the spice drug is sprayed on that leafy substance, and then people smoke it or eat it or whatever they do, and they get high from it. So you can put some of these chemicals on just about anything. And the crazy thing is, you really don't know what you're getting. You know, that's why they say, do not buy drugs off the street. Do not try to get your opioids off the street. You know, if your doctor has stopped prescribing you your medication, your pain medication, don't go to the streets, because there's just no telling what's in there.
Yeah, and that it's just crazy to see an attorney, you know, essentially trying to help his client, so to speak, be a big guy there within that correctional facility. Essentially, it doesn't sound like it's for just personal use. They were starting up a little trade there.
Yeah, and that's been a really big problem within jails and prisons across the state and other states. There's always going to be drugs in prison and in jail. And actually, I've talked to addicts that say, I like to go to jail because I know that I'll get my drugs when I'm in jail. They know that it's going to be there. And that's really sad, but it's just the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts.
Yeah, well, I appreciate your time as always, Erica. If folks want to check out what you're writing about, thinking about, how can they do so?
Well, please go to 1819news.com and check us out. You can subscribe with us. You can even help us keep going because we're a nonprofit. We're just trying to, rise to the moment of truth and really tell people in the state of Alabama not only what they want to know, but what they need to know and what you're not going to see anywhere else. So if you can just go help us out by subscribing there, you'll get a daily newsletter to see what all our headlines are, so you don't have to go scraping through all these different websites to find the top stuff. It's right there in your inbox.
Well, there you go. I appreciate your time as always, Erica.
Thank you. God bless.
God bless. Again, that's Erica Thomas there of 1819news.com, and she's one of the originals there. She's been there from the beginning. OG, indeed. I mean, you were nodding your head, Eddie, about some of that gas station stuff.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember it too.
I remember just places I worked, people were getting it because you could do it, and the drug test didn't pick it up.
Right,
and
right.
I remember, I think you probably remember too, the police, they would said, okay, now it's illegal, and those companies would come back and change one little thing in the formula, and it would be right back on the shelf.
Yep.
And it finally just got, I think, extreme where so many people were just having crazy reactions to it that they just had to step in and do something.
Yeah, that's a poison.
But if you see what's available at convenience stores now, I mean, I don't see a whole lot of difference. They just change the names.
Right.
Look at all the crap behind the counter.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not trying to dog them. It's business. It's free enterprise. I get all that. But when we say we're fighting the war on drugs, there's a whole back door.
Yeah.
There's a side door over here open. There's,
Yeah. Well, coming up, we have Congressman Gary Palmer.
Okay.
He is running for re-election in the 6th Congressional District.
Okay.
But that district's been redrawn to where now Autauga and Elmore County, a big listening part of our listening audience, is right there in those two counties. So if you're living in that district there in Autauga and Elmore County, maybe even a little north of there, you should stay tuned because we have your congressman asking for your vote to be reelected coming up at the beginning of the 1 o'clock hour. For this break, though, this part of the program brought to you by XI Repair. And there at XI Repair, Jonathan Strange and his team are ready to help you with those smartphones of yours in particular. They do all sorts of smartphone repairs that are very inexpensive, reasonably priced repairs. And they're usually done in like 30, 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. Maybe if it's a complicated job, it'll take them an hour.
Maybe a little longer, but not much.
And hey, I've experienced this with my grandfather. He had to have his desktop computer worked on. And they realized, he had some top-end stuff. It was going to take a while to get the parts.
Right.
To actually put it all together how he liked it. So what they did is they put a mirror image of his hard drive on another computer box so he could still have his computer, so to speak, at home while they were fixing his actual one. It's that sort of
good customer service, man.
That it really is winning there at XI Repair. No, and let me reach into my bag here, and they've got all these holiday
that's right.
deals.
We got holiday specials, right?
Here, I'm going to hand you one of these, and you've got the smartphone one. They've got all these smartphone.
Oh, yeah, you got an Apple smartphone unlock, 64 GB. That's so funny to see. You got the iPhone 12 for $412. For me, that's a great deal. I bought the iPhone 10. It's got a great camera on it. I know the iPhone 12 is going to have a better camera. You got the iPhone SE for only $191. Dude, that's great for iPhone.
Oh, yeah.
That's an iPhone, man.
That really is great right there. And, of course, they've also got all sorts of other electronic stuff like JBL Tune, the headphones, for only $30. JBL, those like Bluetooth speakers you can carry around for only $60, water resistant, all these things. They like a Samsung Active 2 watch, keep up with your fitness and everything. Only $50 there.
Dude, that's popular. I see a lot of people wear those. Yeah.
And why not? You still got time left. Get a custom-built PC for students, for professionals. Maybe there's a gamer in your life.
Yeah.
They have financing available there. Starting at $699, you can get a custom-built PC. Really amazing stuff. Or maybe you want to just upgrade that laptop or PC. They can help you there at XI Repair. So you can always go online to xirepair.com. That's the letter X, the letter I, repair.com. Or give them a call at 777-1234. And be sure to tell those fine folks there at XI Repair that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the Afternoon sent you. We'll be right back after this.
may not know whether he's coming or going. But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi there, I'm Madeline Cannon with Alabama Home Mortgage. Getting pre-approved is the first step towards home ownership. People are often scared or nervous about taking that first step, but I'll tell you, it's nothing to be scared of. At Alabama Home Mortgage, we will take the first step and every step along the way with you. Call us at 567-4223. We will gather the information needed to tell you exactly what you qualify for. After a call to Alabama Home Mortgage, you will know what price point to shop for, what down payment is required, if any, and what your monthly mortgage payment will look like. We take all the guessing out of it. Then, when you find the house you want to make your home, you are ready to make an offer. Along with your offer, you will submit your Alabama Home Mortgage pre-approval letter. This shows sellers that you've already taken the steps necessary to ensure that you qualify to purchase their home. Wait no longer. It's time to take that first step together. Call me at 567-4223 or start the process online at myalabamahomemortgage.com.
That's Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from your local Roto-Rooter. The Tiers family extends best wishes to all those in the river region this holiday season. Don't let plumbing issues turn your celebrations into a lump of coal. Roto-Rooter is a phone call or a click away for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 272-7130, or online at rotorooteralabama.com. And remember,
call Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter, Roto-Rooter.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228. Given we have Gary Palmer, Congressman Gary Palmer, calling in here in a moment, wanted to play a quick clip of the congressman. This happened, I think, this week, went very viral on the X platform. Let's listen in.
We need to get down to policy. We need to talk about the things that went wrong and what we need to do.
This is a conversation about COVID.
Masking. You know, you keep, the CDC insisted on masking kids as young as 2 years old. And made the argument that there was no disagreement. I think the word is equipoise. I have a study here that clearly shows that there was widespread disagreement in Europe, even here. Yet the CDC insisted on masking kids as young as 2 years old. What would be your position on that?
Well, I would say it's good that we're in a different place and we're able to turn a chapter forward. We have a lot of
give me a
tools
break.
to protect our children now, vaccines and treatment.
No.
Masks continue to be one tool
No.
amongst many that we can use to protect ourselves.
So you would continue to require masking for 2-year-old kids?
So again, we are in a very different place. Than
I
we were.
know that, but I'm asking you,
Yeah.
this is a policy question. There have been no randomized control trials on masking. And I can't help but think that the CDC didn't want the randomized control trials because it didn't fit the narrative, didn't fit the position they wanted to take. And
Gary Palmer asking the right questions
Yeah.
there for sure, folks, and I appreciate that. I've actually never had a conversation with the gentleman, Eddie, so I'm looking forward to that here in mere moments. Y'all stay tuned.
You know, funny. Oh, go ahead.
No, what?
It's funny. She'll answer that in private, I guarantee. But in public, oh boy, there's a stumble.
Well, it's so good we're in a different time.
Right.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Again, more girl boss, passive aggressive crap. Anyway, we'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. A lot of people caught off guard today. Many say they are stunned. California Republican Kevin McCarthy stepping down from Congress. McCarthy says he will leave at the end of the year. Fewer hopefuls on tap tonight. A smaller GOP presidential debate as the number of candidates still shrinking. Just 4 Republicans will take part on stage tonight at the University of Alabama. United States filing war crime charges against 4 Russians. They are accused of torturing an American in Ukraine. U.S. authorities say the American was held for 10 days at a Russian military compound after being evacuated with his Ukrainian wife. And Israeli forces continue to battle Hamas terrorists across Gaza. This is SRN News.
Are you a business owner in need of financing? Then you need Swish Funding, the better way to get the funding you need. Our simple application process takes just minutes, with funding as soon as 1 business day. At Swish Funding, we focus on your business cash flow, not your personal credit score. And we're ready to help with funding from $5,000 to $5 million. If you've been in business for 1 year and have monthly revenue of at least $25,000, you could get the affordable funding you need with no collateral at swishradio.com. That's SWISH radio.com.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert, and I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-858-1199. That's 800-858-1199.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. And without further ado, as promised, we have on the phone Congressman Gary Palmer. Congressman, great to talk to you this afternoon. How are you?
Good, Joey. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, good to have you on the program. For folks who don't know, this is the first time we're ever speaking to one another. So if there are people like me out there also listening, saying, I've never met Congressman Palmer, give us a little bit of your background 101, going all the way back to, say, when you first decided to jump into Congress.
Well, I think when you talk about my background, you've got to talk about how I grew up. I grew up in Hackleburg, Alabama. My dad had about an 8th grade education. I grew up, he was a logger, so I grew up skidding logs with mules. First person in my family to go to college, went to the University of Alabama. Got a degree in operations management, worked for 2 international engineering firms after I moved to Birmingham, and then started the Alabama Family Alliance, which was, I think most of you know, later became the Alabama Policy Institute, and had never run for office until I was 60 years old and ran for Congress, and here I am. 8 years, 11 months, and 3 days later.
8 years, 11 months, 3 days later. And my next question is, in a second, I want to get to some of the great things you're doing in Congress. But, you know, your opponent in this primary race is bringing up the issue of term limits. I believe when you first ran, you were a big proponent of that idea of term limits. In my mind, given that you've been reelected and reelected and reelected again, it seems like the voters have spoken on this. But I guess my question is this. What changed your mind going up to Congress, or even more generally, what, looking back when you first walked into Congress, do you wish you could tell yourself then, like, get prepared for this, man?
Well, I wish I'd known that after just 4 terms in Congress, or 5 terms in Congress, that Richard Shelby and Jeff Sessions wouldn't be in office, that we would have 1 freshman member, 2 second-year members, and 2 freshman senators. I might have thought differently about saying that I'd only serve 5 terms. I was also thinking, though, I'd be 70 years old and didn't know what my health status would be. But I also didn't at that time realize that I would be the first Alabama Republican to be on the Energy and Commerce Committee in somewhere 30, 40 years. And it's the most influential committee in Congress. I didn't realize that I would only have one term where we had the White House, the Senate, and the House. So it's been very difficult to navigate when Pelosi's in charge or to get anything done. And then finally, I'm in leadership, chair of the policy committee, and we're having a really big impact. I mean, I believe it's the first chief economist that the House has ever had. And we're the behind-the-scenes guys. We're providing our members with information that they ordinarily wouldn't get. We really function like the in-house think tank for Republicans, and we've been very, very effective with that.
Well, and I appreciate that answer, because it seems like with Washington, when you first get up there, especially as a congressman, you kind of have to pay your dues, right? There is this built-in system that's beyond just election days where you have to work your way up through seniority, through these committee processes, and just learn the ropes, right?
Yeah, what I say is in the Senate, you advance. If you live long enough, you'll eventually chair something. In the House, though, knowledge is king. And I came better equipped than most members because I'd spent 20-something years doing public policy work, doing research, and that's really kind of my natural area. It's almost like a hobby to me to research these things and to be a problem solver. That's what I loved about engineering, is solving problems. And being in the position that I'm in right now, and particularly with Mike Johnson as the new speaker, he and I knew each other long before either one of us ever got elected. I think it's really important that I try to stick around and help Mike, and then my relationship with President Trump and the work that we've done with him while he was in the White House on policy, and the stuff that we're doing with him right now, I think is, I anticipate that he's going to be our next president, and I think we're going to get some things done because he really is the only guy that will do some things that need to be done for our country.
And you've recently received his endorsement, right?
Yeah, he called me a week ago Monday, and we talked a little bit. We've been talking with his policy team. His domestic policy advisor, Brooke Rollins, is a very dear friend of mine. She ran a think tank in Texas, and he's got a really good team around him. And I think, unlike his first term, the first year or so of his first term, when he takes office this next time, he's going to have a clearly defined agenda ready to go, bills that can be dropped in Congress even before he's inaugurated, because we'll get sworn in on January 3rd. He'll get inaugurated on January 20th, and we'll have some stuff waiting for him to sign.
Well, there you go. And we just played a clip before you hopped on the phone here. I believe this was last week where you're talking to some official from the CDC about masking 2-year-olds. And I'm always amazed by some of these committee hearings, whether it's congressmen or senators. The administrators act like they're the ones in charge, like they're actually more elected or they're untouchable almost. I found it baffling this woman would not admit that masking 2-year-olds was a bad idea in the first place.
Well, and if you watch the video and the look on her face, that condescending look, that smirk, and that's why I responded that, based on her answer, she'd be better in the sales department than directing policy at the CDC. They've lost our trust. The National Institutes for Health has lost our trust. Fauci has done enormous damage to the credibility of our medical research, and the predecessor to the lady who's now director, Walensky, did the same thing. They lied to the American people. They rejected the fact that there was no clear evidence that masking was appropriate, especially for kids. And yet they did it, and they closed our schools because of pressure from the teachers' unions.
Yeah, it was a miserable time, and it's amazing to see that they won't even apologize for it. And I've heard often that Washington, especially in, say, the more career path, not necessarily elected officials, but people tend to fail up. It's not the good or bad impact you made. You just made an impact, so keep on climbing the ladder. It's not serving us well.
Well, I do a lot of reading, and there's a book that I would recommend to all of your listeners It's called You Report to Me. It's written by David Bernhardt. He was the Secretary of Interior in the Trump administration, at the end of the Trump administration. And it is the best book I've ever read on how the bureaucratic state has taken over our government. You really, right now, we're at a crisis point in terms of constitutional government separation of powers, because you've got an administration and agencies enacting rules or sending executive orders and bypassing the legislative process. And I've tried to get Kevin McCarthy to do this. I've spoken to Mike Johnson about it, that we need to take some of these issues to court, because this is a violation of the Constitution. When they make these new laws, and they call it rulemaking or guidance, it's really a law, and it's completely bypassing people's elected representatives.
Again, folks, we're talking to Congressman Gary Palmer. The 6th District has been redrawn, folks, by the courts, or by the special master of the court. But now that means Elmore and Autauga County is in the 6th District, a big part of our listening audience, Congressman. And so if folks want to support your campaign, want to volunteer, donate, how can they do so?
Well, since I'm in the Energy and Commerce Committee room, I can't talk about that.
Okay, fair enough.
It'd be an ethics violation. So, but I have spent a good bit of time in Elmore County. Admittedly, a lot of it was in Bass Pro Shops, but I have gotten around the county. So.
Well, that's fair. So, one quick final question then. Recently, you had a bill pass out of committee that would allow states to verify citizenship on their voter registration forms. What hope is there this passing becoming law fully, and why is this so important?
Well, first of all, I want to thank Katie Britt for introducing the bill in the Senate. So we're working this together. But the Citizen Ballot Protection Act would allow states to require proof of citizenship, and that's huge for making sure that people trust our elections. I think it'll pass the House, and we're going to bring a whole package of bills together on election reform that will, I think, help secure elections. We're really going to have to double down, though, in it, and if Katie can get the bill passed as an individual bill, it will give us a second or third shot at it on the House side. Now, whether or not Biden will sign it, anybody's guess, probably not. I've introduced 2 other bills that we'll try to get up after the first of the year that both deal with forcing states to clean up their voter files, and that's where our real exposure is. Back in 2012, the Pew Research Center published a report said there's 24 million people improperly registered, Joel. And looking at some of the states, there's over 800,000 inactive voters still on the ballots, still on the voter rolls in Pennsylvania. And the entire state of Michigan is 105% registered to vote. That means there's 5% more people on their voter files than actually live in the state who are old enough to vote. And 16 counties are over 110%. You talk about an opportunity for fraud. That's where you could get hammered, particularly with mail-in ballots.
Yeah, we really do have to tighten this up. And I appreciate you and Senator Brett. I didn't know she had sponsored that there on the Senate side, pushing this, because it's one of those issues where you don't even want the appearance of impropriety. And you want people to be able to trust the elections. And as much as we hail ourselves as the defenders of democracy and the democracy in the world, we've got to tighten up on this. I think if other countries were behaving the way we are, we would consider them third world and look at them with a jaundiced eye, and rightfully so.
Absolutely. One of the interesting things is that my bill amends the 1993 Voter Registration Act. Nancy Pelosi was in Congress at that time. She actually went to the microphone to speak in support of the 1993 Voter Registration Act, claiming that it would help stop illegal voting. So we'll see how she votes on my bill.
we shall see. Well, I appreciate your time. I know you got to run. Next time you're in town or in these parts, open door for you to join us in the studio. Enjoy this conversation, this first one here, sir, and all the best.
I'd love to do it in person. Thanks for having me on, Joey.
Thank you, sir. Again, that's Congressman Gary Palmer. They're running for re-election in the 6th Congressional District. Yeah, we got a lot of congressional districts around this radio dial.
Yeah, we do.
We're going to be having a lot of candidates. Now, I think it's only 2 there, and Republicans running. It's Gary Palmer, and we've had on Jarek Wilkins as well. But it's something like 13 or 8 Republicans, 13 Democrats initially jumped to the district too. So, yeah, a lot of folks to get to, but that's going to be the plan going ahead, especially after the holidays. It's going to be a mad dash sprint to March, because that's when the voting will happen on Super Tuesday. 272-9228 if you want to jump in, comments or reactions. First, before this break, this part of the program brought to you, by Pest Pro Services. Now, Pest Pro Services, you've known Ashley for a long time, right, Ed?
Many, many years now, Joey. Not saying I'm old, but I've known her for many, many years now.
Right, but even before they were sponsors here, when you found out they were going to become sponsors, I
was super excited.
You were giddy.
Yeah, because I like being able to represent companies and talk about companies that I know do a good job. So when they were first talking about becoming a sponsor, I was like, yes. There's nothing worse than trying to sell something you don't know anything about, or you don't know anything about the company. Well, I know these guys because I've used them for years since I got into the real estate business. And not only just for my professional, but I use them in my private life, and I recommend them. I just recommended them to someone again today.
Right.
These are solid people. They do what they say they're going to do. They show up when they say they're going to show up. And really the greatest thing, or to me one of the greatest things, looking at my rental properties, that's an extra set of eyes. So if they see something kind of funny or out of line, they let me know. But also, they let me know, hey, Eddie, you might have a bug problem. That's what their biggest thing is. Because this time of year, let's face it, man, cockroaches, ants, rats, mice, they all want to come inside where it's warm.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is no surprise then. Pest Pro's now been nominated as one of the best small businesses in the entire state. Really great folks there at Pest Pro. So check them out today. You can always call Ashley and her team at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell them, well, you heard about them here on News and Views.
Yeah, buddy.
In the afternoon. More News and Views after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm. They want you to stay safe on the road. Please don't text and drive. Get to your destination safely. Your family and friends will thank you. From the Johnny Adams Law Firm.
Rich Thomas Weather.
We've got some chilly air to deal with for at least a couple of days before we start to moderate. Today will be a rather brisk day. Sunshine, but chilly, high in the middle 50s, but northerly winds gusting as high as 20 miles per hour will add to the chill. Clear and cold tonight. Low temperature down to about 31 by dawn on Thursday. Look for cool sunshine tomorrow, high in the upper 50s. Friday's nice, with a high around 66 and more sun. Then the risk of scattered showers and thunderstorms arriving by Saturday afternoon, becoming likely Saturday night and early in the day on Sunday before ending. Saturday's high near 70. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At ASE Credit Union, financing your next adventure is easier than ever with rates as low as 5.25%. Apply online or visit your local branch today. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
ASE Credit Union, your life, your goals, your ASE.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. The former executive director for the Alabama Association for Career and Technical Education was sentenced to 37 months in prison Tuesday. Doris Joanne Gilmore used her position to embezzle federal grant money and payroll taxes in the amount of almost $3 million over a 10-year period. A Prattville man was killed in a single vehicle crash in Montgomery Monday afternoon. The accident occurred on Eastern Boulevard near Hitching Post Lane. 35-year-old Joshua Cortese was pronounced dead at the scene. The car was driven by an unidentified woman who also suffered life-threatening injuries. 2 men were shot at the Petro Plus gas station on Woodley Road near the boulevard around 4 p.m. yesterday. Both men were taken to area hospitals for treatment, one with a life-threatening condition. Motive, suspect, and victims' names remain unknown as the investigation continues. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
Give the gift of help this season with HealthWise Foods on the Atlanta Highway. Is someone on your list stressed out? HealthWise Foods has a huge variety of essential oils and great aromatherapy gift sets. Can't choose? There's always the perfect present, a gift card. HealthWise Foods is the oldest family-owned health store in Montgomery. Merry Christmas from HealthWise Foods, 5147 Atlanta Highway in the Village East Shopping Center. Call 277-9925 or visit healthwisefoods.com.
May I help you?
Well, howdy. I'm Bill the electrician. Come to wire up your new air compressors.
Oh, well, okay. Never seen an electrician pull up in a camo Jeep with deer antlers on the front.
Yeah, that 3 points of beauty, ain't it?
No matter what your electrician is driving, make sure it says Crosby Electric on the side. Crosby Electricians will take care of your electrical issues professionally and for a reasonable price.
Bill, you sure you know how to design these circuits?
Well, of course. And if I do get stuck, I got a secret weapon.
Oh, yeah?
YouTube.
Oh, boy.
Crosby Electric has been serving this area for over 50 years. We have the experience to do your job correctly.
Okay, let's try out these new air compressors.
Bill, you blew up my new compressors.
Yeah, sorry about that. Here, take my Jeep. It's yours.
What?
I'll just keep the horns, if that's okay.
Protect your property and yourself. Always call the experts at Crosby Electric or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
Hi, I'm Todd with River Region Contracting, a premier roofing contractor. Most people don't think that they have a roofing problem until they see water spots and stains on their ceiling. By then, it may be a little too late because the wooden decking that supports their shingle or metal roof may be holding moisture, causing it to rot. Most insurance companies will not pay for the decking, causing you to pay more money out of your own pocket. Why not call us today and set up an appointment for a free roofing inspection? It could save you some money. Call us at 334-356-8635 or go to riverregioncontracting.com or like us on Facebook.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a famous broadcaster.
Hey man, what's happening?
Now, I understand you radio people move a lot, is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, how does this affect your taking care of your retirement money?
Oh man, I don't give that a second thought because my buddy David Ernest, he's my money man.
Your money man?
With the money plan.
I see.
So no matter where I go up and down the dial, David has my back, you know?
I'll bet you know some phone numbers our listeners could call to talk with David Ernest.
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
And he has a website at retirewithernest.com.
Hey, you're on top of it today, man.
I also understand that you hold some sort of a record in broadcasting.
Yes, I was the first person to put together a show with myself, a duck, a chicken, and a goose. But it didn't last long. We got taken off the air.
Why were you taken off the air?
Too much foul language, man.
Oh my.
So I wasn't crazy about that one myself.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. For too long here, we're going to have Bradley J., reporter for Breitbart News, calling about the Tuberville thing.
Okay.
And
lots of questions.
Tuberville kind of relenting, but apparently Bradley has the inside kind of idea of what happened there. In particular, I think it was neoconservative Republicans, sort of Bush-era Republicans, establishment types.
Yes.
That, threatened to change the rules alongside the Democrats. You gotta love that, right?
Yeah. Can we talk about McCarthy leaving?
Kevin McCarthy leaving? Why?
I don't know, Joe.
Why is everybody so interested in
I'm
this?
very interested in him leaving because I believe, you remember the guy that filled in for him temporarily, whatever that little nerd's name was? I believe he's going to be out
McHenry, yeah.
So maybe they're getting some of these establishment type people. Rhinos is what I like to call them.
Do you want an official explanation? We got time to read
Sure.
This is an op-ed. I didn't realize this till I just clicked on it. It's an op-ed by Kevin McCarthy in the Wall Street Journal. Kevin McCarthy, I'm leaving the house, but not the fight. So should I read this?
Please.
All right, here we go. I'm an optimist. How could I not be? I'm the son of a firefighter. Because none of them have ever experienced tragedy out of somebody. Anyway, how could I not be? I'm the son of a firefighter. For 17 years, I've served in the same congressional seat, the same office in which I was once denied an internship, only in America. I helped lead Republicans to a House majority twice. We got more Republican women, veterans, and minorities elected to Congress at one time than ever before. I remained cheerfully persistent when elected Speaker because I knew what we could accomplish. Again, this is Kevin McCarthy writing in the Wall Street Journal today, folks. Even with slim margins in the House, we passed legislation to secure the border, achieve energy independence, reduce crime, hold government accountable, and establish a Parents' Bill of Rights. We did exactly what we said we would do. What about all the 12 spending bills?
What about the border is secure?
Oh, but we passed these legislations through, these bills. We've passed them. Are they law, Kevin? We kept our eyes on America's long-term global challenge by restoring the Intelligence Committee to its original charter and establishing a bipartisan select committee on the Chinese Communist Party. We reduced the deficit by more than $2 trillion. Oh, you just shove it up your backside on that one. Revamp work requirements for adults on the sidelines, cut red tape for critical domestic energy projects, and protected the full faith and credit of the U.S.
Dude.
We kept our government operating and our troops paid while wars broke out around the world.
That who started?
Yeah, who's financing? No matter the odds or personal costs, we did the right thing. That may seem out of fashion in Washington these days.
I know you hate hearing this, but there's some people that are going to end up on the wrong side of history. He's one of them.
But delivering results for the American people is still celebrated across the country. What results?
Thank you.
What results?
Failures.
Miserable. It is in this spirit that I have decided to depart the House. So that was all that BS wind-up was for.
Yeah.
It is in this spirit that I've decided to depart the House at the end of this year to serve America in new ways. I know my work is only getting started.
But wasn't he elected? So don't you owe it to the people that elected you to at least finish?
Right, he's leaving
term?
10 months early.
So now you're going to have to pay for early elections. There'll be nobody in the seat. I mean, how can you tell me this guy is devoted to the U.S., period? Everything he's doing is opposite of what any responsible person would do.
Yeah. No, that's...
Is he even giving us a 2-week notice?
He's going to recruit folks, he says, and
Sure he
work
is.
to find candidates. It's like, just go away, Kevin.
Work to find candidates.
Go away, Kevin. Like, if you're not going to serve the full term, you're fantastic point.
See, that to me, we should have, just like we have businesses that come into town, they say, hey, we're going to be here for 20 years, so we give them special deals.
Right.
They leave before that 20 years, we finally learned our lesson, we do clawbacks. We do the same thing with these jackasses. You want to leave, if you want to run for president, but right now you're something else, that's fine, but you still owe us for the time. If it's 10 months, then you owe us at least that salary for 10 months.
Now, this part of the program brought to you by New Look Decorating Center. And they're at New Look Decorating Center. Brett Lanham and the team are ready to help you with those high-quality Benjamin Moore paint and stain supplies. Whether you're doing it yourself or contracting out the job, New Look Decorating can help you. They can help you with tips and tricks so you do it yourself the right way, the first time, saving you time and money. They can give you advice on who to hire for particular jobs that are just too big for you to handle yourself, but they know all the painters in town, all the contractors in town. They can also even help you out beyond paint and stain supplies with wallpaper and fabrics. Wallpaper and fabrics, and Katie is a specialist to ask for there at New Look Decorating Center about those. In particular, that really hot commodity, the Tebow wallpaper. It's all the rage these days. So check out New Look Decorating Center today. 40 years in business, a true institution here in Montgomery. 271-0007 is their number. That's 271-0007. or you can always go to newlookdecoratingcenter.com. But I really encourage you to stop by that showroom, 6237 Atlanta Highway, right where Bell Road dead ends to Atlanta Highway. You'll see it in all its glory. Benjamin Moore's New Look Decorating Center. And be sure to tell, well, Brett and Brian, the entire team there, that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the afternoon sent you. We'll be right back, folks, after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
I'm here with Miss Dot at the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall. Dot, the place is looking festive.
Yes, Christmas is definitely here.
I can see lots of things around here that would be great for Christmas.
The booths are stocked with everything you need for the Christmas season. And you know we enjoy your visits to see us and helping us keep up all those old good traditions and maybe starting a few new ones. But we love seeing each and every one of you.
What if somebody's looking for a special gift?
We've got the china, of course, and the crystal and the furniture, and we have the vinyl records and silver plate and jewelry and whatever else you think you want.
All right, Dot, give us those hours of operation.
Monday through Friday is 10 until 6. Saturday is 9 until 6. And Sunday is 12:30 to 4:30.
That's the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall, 425 Coliseum Boulevard. And for Miss Dot and Mr. Gary and the McDaniel family, they wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thanks for shopping Eastbrook.
Help solve unsolved crimes by watching Action 8 News. Look for our exclusive I-Team reports as we work with Central Alabama Crime Stoppers to solve murder mysteries and put criminals behind bars. Victims' families are counting on you to watch Action 8 News. Ever miss an Action 8 newscast? Catching up is easy with the free View It app. Watch the news live on your phone or see newscasts from the past 3 days. Download View It, search VUIT in your app store today, and stay on top of what's happening from Action 8 News.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather.
We've got some chilly air to deal with for at least a couple of days before we start to moderate. Today will be a rather brisk day. Sunshine, but chilly, high in the middle 50s, but northerly winds gusting as high as 20 miles per hour will add to the chill. Clear and cold tonight. Low temperature down to about 31 by dawn on Thursday. Look for cool sunshine tomorrow, high in the upper 50s. Friday's nice, with a high around 66 and more sun. Then the risk of scattered showers and thunderstorms arriving by Saturday afternoon, becoming likely Saturday night, and early in the day on Sunday before ending. Saturday's high near 70. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. We can't say thank you enough to every one of you who have made Capital Tractor one of the largest Kubota dealers in the U.S. It's because of you. We're honored, we're humbled, we're grateful. Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to hop in on the conversation. Joining us now, we have Bradley J. He's a reporter for Breitbart News. Bradley, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing just fine. How are you today?
Doing quite well. Now, it was unfortunate to see that this long saga with Coach Tuberville putting these holds on military nominations to stop the abortion policy the Pentagon has pushed forth. Well, it's over. But for folks who maybe didn't follow the whole thread here, let's remind them of what happened here. Why did Tuberville do this initially, and how long has this process been drawn out into?
Well, after Roe v. Wade was essentially overturned by the Supreme Court, what the Biden administration did is it changed the policy at the Pentagon so that if you were a service member or service member's family and you wanted an abortion, but were in a state where it was outlawed, essentially they would pay you with, or reimburse you with, taxpayer dollars to travel to another state on top of time off and everything that goes with that to get an abortion performed. Well, it's been federal law for decades that you can't use taxpayer, you can't fund abortions with taxpayer dollars. That's something that for ages and ages Republicans and Democrats actually agreed upon. Well, Tuberville, the Senate, Republicans in a majority, there aren't a lot of leverage points, but Tuberville had the courage to say, I'm going to use one of the few points of leverage that we have in the minority, and I'm going to block these blanket holds for Pentagon promotions to send a message. Now, the way this works in the Senate is the Senate has all these convoluted rules that are complicated and arcane and difficult to understand. Essentially, the Senate can do whatever it wants. It can even break its own rules if everyone agrees to do so, if there's unanimous consent to do it. And so the way that the Senate usually takes advantage of this is they will break the rules through unanimous consent to speed up debate, to bypass time constraints, to skip tough votes, and do things like that. Tuberville essentially said, no, I'm going to block any efforts to move these Pentagon nominations through en bloc, because look, I mean, there's obviously so many nominations that go through, and Schumer was trying to move them through all at once without any debate on them, and without the Senate doing its job to act. It's not supposed to be a rubber stamp. It's actually supposed to examine these nominees, and for 11 months now, Senator Tuberville said, I'm not letting you do that. And it all came to a head this week.
Well, and there was one moment a month or so ago where Schumer blinked and actually did do a few people individually, put them through. And now it seems like, as the way it's being reported by others, that Tuberville blinked here. But you have an interesting angle that this essentially was a backstabbing, that certain members of the GOP really did Coach wrong here. What went down that caused an end to this thing this week?
That's right, Joey. And the fact is, Schumer could have moved these nominations through individually at any point. That would take, a day or so of Senate time, and frankly, the Senate enjoys having its Mondays and its Fridays off. And it's not like they've done anything this year legislatively anyways. But you're right. Schumer essentially, within the past, he did blink. He moved one of these nominees through individually that he had said he wouldn't do, but he gave into pressure and moved it through individually. And you know what? The world kept spinning. Things went on. But finally, what happened this week, Coach Tuberville did get backstabbed. He had some members of his own party, the Romneys, the Joni Ernst of the world, who they don't see eye to eye with most of the people of Alabama on this issue. But they said, you know what, we're going along with this scheme that Senator Schumer has, where what he was doing, he was blocking the defense authorization bill from going forward unless the Senate voted to change the rules, and so that senators wouldn't even have this kind of leverage anymore to fight for their constituents. It's just shocking that these people would be willing to surrender the authority that they have to fight for the people who sent them to Washington and get it to Senator Schumer, Chuck Schumer of New York, essentially with the promise of him just saying, trust me, everything's going to be okay. But these people clearly were not standing with Senator Tuberville on this issue. It was going to happen that the Senate was going to change the rules, and not only would Senator Tuberville lose leverage to advocate for the people of Alabama, but every other senator would lose the leverage that they had as well. So the writing was on the wall. Chuck Schumer was going to break the rules of the Senate. They call it the nuclear options. You have to break the rules to change the rules. But the writing was on the wall, and Tuberville very graciously, I'll note, relented to the inevitable.
Well, and I'm looking at your write-up here, and again, folks, we're talking to Bradley Jays, a reporter for Breitbart. news, just search on Breitbart.com Tuberville, and it should be the first story that comes up. But the folks who were the backstabbers, Senator Dan Sullivan of Arkansas, Joni Ernst, Lindsey Graham, Mitt Romney, and Todd Young. And you quote one GOP aide, senior GOP aide here, that there are too many senators, I'm quoting, there are too many senators who care about making defense contractors happy than they do about unborn Americans. Wow. I think that puts it right out where, down where the goats can get it.
That's true. And, with friends like these, who needs enemies? But the bottom line is that Schumer would have needed at least nine Republicans in total to do this, to make this change. He clearly felt like he had those, or he would not have moved forward with this. It's just such a shame. Republicans are so good, especially on pro-life issues. They're so good at saying all the right things, getting the rhetoric right, pointing to the cross. But when it comes down to it, Senator Tuberville was willing to get down into the trenches, and when he looked to the left and looked to his right, there weren't that many Republican senators who were with him, and I think that's a shame.
Well, and Coach is still holding the promotions of, say, top brass, like top generals, right? Now, 400 were moved yesterday, I think, after he relented on those, but a few of the four-star generals are still being held up, right?
That's correct. It's 10 or 11 of the four-star above. He has still said, no, I'm not going to consent to the Senate moving forward with these nominations en blanc, as a group without debate. And look at what's going on at our military, at our Pentagon. They've totally lost their way. It's more of an indoctrination program for woke policies than it is a body that a group that's actually supposed to defend our nation. And you look at all the awful military leaders. By and large, most of them I'm sure are fine. But you look at who's leading our military right now, and I wonder, with this group of 400 plus that were moved through together yesterday, I wonder how many of those we're going to find out too late were not truly deserving of being promoted. I'm sure many of them were, and if we would have actually looked at each of these nominees individually like we're supposed to, as the Senate is charged to do, I'm sure that most of them would have been advanced. But you really worry about who's going to sneak through the cracks because, as Senator Tuberville pointed out, this Senate's not doing its job, just rubber stamping Biden's nominees.
Well, I appreciate your reporting on this. Any quick reactions to breaking news today? Kevin McCarthy dropping out?
Yeah, wow, Joey. The House Republicans majority is getting slimmer and slimmer. They just expelled George Santos last week, and that was unprecedented.
It's ridiculous. He'll live forever.
Leave it to Republicans. They just love shooting themselves in the foot. You've got another Florida congressman who's expected to leave perhaps in the next few weeks to take a university job. The majority will shrink even further. I don't envy Speaker Johnson right now. He's a good man, but he's got a tough row to hoe. There's no doubt.
Well, I appreciate your reporting, like I said, and would love to have you back as we see, I'm sure, more developments right around the holidays here, ending out this year before the craziness of 2024 ahead. If folks want to check out your work, Bradley, or what you're writing about, thinking about, how can they do so?
Absolutely. It's going to be a packed end of the year in Congress. You can find our work on BreitbartNews.com, and I'm on Twitter at BradleyAJ. Lots going on right now. We'll try to keep everybody on top of it.
Well, thank you. We'll talk again soon. Thanks, Bradley.
Thanks, Jerry.
Good to have friends like that at Breitbart. Because, he's actually knows the halls of Congress. He knows how all this works. And the whole time I was talking to him, Bradley there, Eddie, I was looking at you. You're just shaking your head in disgust.
Okay, if you join the military, 18 years old, you sign a contract, you are military service. What's the difference between that and these leaders that can go up there? I'm still available. I can still, somebody wants to buy me out, I can leave tomorrow, leave my party in danger, because we're going to lose the majority now, which we barely have. I see these people, I'm sorry to say it, they're treasonous. They don't have the fortitude at the beginning to complete the job, then you should be held accountable unless you die in office, which a lot of them want to do, and you know that too.
Oh, yeah.
But to leave early, like 10, knowing that our, let's say it's a football team. Our team is struggling, Joey, but Joey gets an offer to go, somewhere else. But Joey, this is your country. Yeah, but I'm going to go work for these guys over here because I know in the end of the day, they really just want to make my Republican majority a little bit smaller. So therefore, I'll go work for this think tank for a while.
Yeah, they just want to take their ball and go home. Well, it was never really about the team, only the team you were leading, right?
Right.
Now, here's the thing I love, though. Remember, not this week, but last week, how Judge Napolitano was really ripping into Speaker Mike Johnson on this FISA reauthorization.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Judge Napolitano and I have had many discussions, and he's done the deep dive write-ups on how much the FBI has abused these programs.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot. Actually,
Any accountability with that, Joe?
No, I don't think anybody's going to be held accountable
Guarantee they
at all,
won't.
honestly.
Guarantee it.
But here, let me play this for. I'd say what Mike Johnson has done here, because he's actually showing backbone in a tough situation.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it seems to be an impasse over the Republicans want to tie border security to more Ukraine funding. It's like, who wants more Ukraine funding?
Right. Can we just say no?
And what they're going to do is when they don't get the damn funding, they'll be like, well, that's why you Ukrainians didn't win. They didn't win because you didn't think this frickin' through.
Right.
Or maybe you did, and the policy all along was, well, maybe we'll deteriorate the Russians by getting hundreds of thousands of people killed. And having a nation that could have been something completely wrecked. Because you're so high on your own supply of we're the greatest nation ever, we can do no wrong because we're morally right, that you end up looking weak, you end up looking wasteful, you end up looking callous. Don't tell me now that finally you got people waking up to how failed this policy was from the get-go, we're going to blame the people actually telling the truth. And go on. Like, we won't actually cry uncle about what we did during COVID. We won't admit any wrongdoing whatsoever. We're just going to continue to march on like the good little soldiers we are, and anybody who tries to get in our way, well, we'll ruin them. So that's all going on in the Congress. But here is Senator Mike Lee with FBI Director Wray talking about the FISA program. There's a little part of the FISA program where there's a thing that could be tripped where you had to get a warrant to get information, communications of an American or whatever.
Yep.
Well, Mike Lee's doing a little follow-up on that here.
Ooh, got some
with
numbers for us?
FBI Director Christopher Wray. This is about a minute long. Let's listen in.
The FBI is already required to obtain a court order in some circumstances before accessing the contents of Americans' communications in the context of 702. They're already required for that in some circumstances. Since 2018, how many times has that requirement been triggered, according to government reporting? Do you know?
You're talking about the so-called F2?
Yes.
Yeah, how many times has it been triggered?
Yes.
I think there have been 2 instances where I think is maybe the number.
103 times it's been triggered. And out of those 103 identified...
Just this...
Oh, it's only off by over 100.
Yeah, it was maybe 2 instances. No, it's actually 103.
And he knew.
Yeah, he knew. But let's go back to this.
Times. The FBI should have obtained a court order. How many times did the FBI actually obtain one? Do you know?
That, I think the answer is none.
0. So you're telling me that the FBI has completely ignored the limited court order requirement that it's already subjected to. You have the audacity to come here, and you told us that adding a warrant requirement to 702, even for queries involving U.S. persons on U.S. soil, that would amount to some sort of unilateral disarmament. You have a lot of gall, sir. This is disgraceful. The Fourth Amendment requires more than that, and you know it. I know every single time for centuries, even prior to the founding of this country, there were similar protections built into the laws of the United Kingdom before we became a country. Even then, the government was making the same darn argument you're making today, which is it's too hard. This would make it hard for the government. It's why we have a constitution, sir, and you must comply with it.
But no, he doesn't.
But he doesn't have to comply as long as the Congress doesn't do their job.
Right.
And the courts don't do their job. But here's the breaking news. Speaker Johnson has now stopped an extension of the FISA authority as part of the NDAA coming out of the House.
Is that right?
It's amazing.
Somebody stood up.
That's amazing. I can't wait to talk to Judge Knapp about that. 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Well, Kim and Madeline can help you.
Madeline was awesome yesterday.
She was,
I don't very often go back and watch our stuff, but I watched that one yesterday.
Yeah?
Yeah. Mainly because I showed Susanna, see that cool shirt that Madeline's got on?
I watched it back some, too. How y'all took the bait on that title of that op-ed I read.
Yeah, I kind of felt like a sucker, I got to be honest. After watching it again, yeah.
I'm like, come on, whoa, you dopes. But no, it's always great having Madeline in here. And really, folks, this is the type of people you're going to work with at Alabama Home Mortgage, from pre-approval all the way to closing day if you're buying a home, and especially if you're a new-time home buyer. Or maybe you've bought a home before, but it was a bad experience.
Yeah, we've had some experiences with those, yeah.
Right, no, with Alabama Home Mortgage, they're actually going to get to know you, get to know your goals in owning a home, or maybe you're looking to refinance to get credit card debt off your back. You know, with APR and on credit cards being 29%
plus,
on average.
Yeah.
Average.
And the average balance in Alabama being what?
Like 7-8 grand? Yeah.
Gee, buddy.
Yeah, so they can help you whether you're buying a home or you want to do a refinance deal to get yourself set up for the holidays or get that credit card debt off your back. They can do it all there at Alabama Home Mortgage with that, local feel. They actually, again, get to know.
Well, they become your advocate, man, and that's a big thing.
They got your back. So give them a call today, 567-4223. That number, 567-4223. Or you can always visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. Let's go to George real quick. Hey, George, how you doing?
Hey, good afternoon. If I can, Eddie.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to say a little bad stuff about your president, Biden. He has begged the Saudis to drill a little more oil, give us the bro price, give us the home.
Hook us up.
I mean, now, yesterday, your guy, Eddie, said, we're going to run out of money by the end of the year, so we can't keep funding, this one of the three wars we're fighting. And, I mean, am I stupid or what's going on here?
If you voted for him,
Eddie?
if you voted for him, yes, you are challenged, to say the least.
I mean, come on.
Better than the orange dictator.
Right.
He said he was going to be dictator for a day.
Exactly.
It's like being principal for a day.
Or mayor for the day. Well, what could you do?
We could do it. If you and I were co-mayors.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready when you are.
How can we live like that?
Well, we can't. And you can look at society right now. Unemployment, you see big companies laying off. You're hearing everything from financial advisors telling you, get ready for the storm. There's no doubt, man, that things are only going to get worse before they get better.
Well, and I think one of the maybe.
Oh, we lost him.
That wasn't us.
That wasn't us.
We seriously have ghosts. Poltergeist in this studio. Poltergeist.
Is that what you call it?
It's Christmas season, and we're seeing ghosts like we're Ebenezer up in here.
Ebenezer
the phone drops off. Don't get me started on the apparitions through the window.
But line 2's still holding good. About 3 weeks on end.
Wait, but why is line 2 on air?
Hold?
No, on air.
I don't know. It shouldn't be on air.
Did you hit that?
Dude, you see my hands over here?
Yeah, I wasn't watching them when the moment happened.
No, I'm over here.
We're going to have to watch the tape.
Go ahead.
Maybe I accidentally hit it.
You got that excited?
It's possible.
You started slamming stuff.
It's possible. How about this?
Need some kid-proof buttons in here, apparently.
Yeah, let's hit a break.
All right.
Calm down. Bring
Reset.
the blood pressure down.
Hey.
And hopefully we'll have Michael come.
Can I call Michael?
Yeah.
Mind?
After the break.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Do you have a cell phone or tablet that isn't charging, dying fast, or maybe the screen is damaged? Don't get suckered into buying a new one. XI Repair can fix your current device same day and in under 30 minutes. Their certified technicians fix and recover data from thousands of cell phones, computers, tablets, game consoles, and drones 7 days a week. Give them a call today at 334-777-1234 or visit them online at xirepair.com. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. The news and views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Vader in the house. What was that?
In the house?
There it is.
There it is.
And on the phone now, we have Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing this afternoon?
Hey, Joey, I'm doing great.
That's good to hear. Now, we often talk about your great products there, but you deliver confidence, too, at Cohen's, along with those great products. But by that, you mean that service before and after the sale. Describe what you mean by, though, that you deliver confidence.
Well, typically what that means is that when you come into our store, we're not just trying to sell you a box. We're not just trying to get something sold and get it gone. We want to actually ask you questions. We want to help you decide what you really need instead of what Billy Bob Googled on the internet and says that this is a cure-all that fits everyone. Because there's a lot of times people come in and they want to buy a certain appliance, and after they talk to the salesperson, they realize that that's not the right appliance for them, or it's not going to work, or it's not going to fit. And that's the reason that we want to ask all of the questions. The other thing that we have in the appliance side is we've got 5 technicians that will come to your home and repair your washer, your dryer, your dishwasher, refrigerator. And, you know, they're trained by the manufacturers. 2 of them have been doing this for probably 25, 30 years apiece. So you've got a lot of experience in there. And that's the biggest thing, is that we want to take care of you after the sale. The sale part is typically the easiest part. You know, standing behind it and mothering your products is what separates the men from the boys. And, you know, unfortunately, all of my competitors, they either give you a 1-year warranty that they're going to take care of, and then you can call 1-800-2-CARES, or you're on your own to start with.
Well, that's
and
why
at Cohen's, you call 277-8890.
Yeah, again, 277-8890, folks. And 65 plus years of great service and great products. It's a generational thing at this point, folks. And if you can always go to thankcohens.com, but I really encourage you to stop by the Boulevard there, 2515 Eastern Boulevard. Great location, and you can see everything they have to offer. I appreciate it as always, Michael.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too, Michael.
Again, Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. We're pretty much out of time for this hour.
Okay. I want to talk to you about the border.
The border?
When we come back.
What about the border?
The record number of people that they encountered yesterday on the southern border. How many? Blew my mind.
Oh, and it looks like a naval vessel shot down a drone.
Have they told you how many times the military has been attacked since this thing's been going on in Israel? I think we're up to 80-something times now.
Like, aren't we like right next to them though?
Yeah, but we are the target.
Oh, sure.
And by having our guys over there, and right now they're just
Yeah,
playing
but what are they
defense.
doing there?
Well, right now they're just playing defense. At what point are we going to let them loose?
No, but why are they there? Because to me, it seems like they're there to get shot at. So we got to do more.
They're there because grown old men told them to go.
Well, that's certainly true. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. It won't be nearly as crowded tonight in the latest GOP presidential debate. Only 4 hopefuls will be on tap. That taking place tonight at the University of Alabama. A lot of people were very surprised. California Republican Kevin McCarthy says today he is stepping down from his congressional seat. He'll be leaving at the end of the year, but says he'll still serve America in some new ways. United States filing war crime charges against 4 Russians. They are accused of torturing an American in Ukraine for a number of days before releasing him. The U.S. employers posting a smaller 8.7 million job openings in October. That's the fewest since March of 2021. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-626-5252. That's 800-626-5252. 800-626-5252.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
We've got some chilly air to deal with for at least a couple of days before we start to moderate. Today will be a rather brisk day. Sunshine, but chilly, high in the middle 50s, but northerly winds gusting as high as 20 miles per hour will add to the chill. Clear and cold tonight. Low temperature down to about 31 by dawn on Thursday. Look for cool sunshine tomorrow, high in the upper 50s. Friday's nice with a high around 66 and more sun. Then the risk of scattered showers and thunderstorms arriving by Saturday afternoon, becoming likely Saturday night and early in the day on Sunday before ending. Saturday's high near 70. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
1819 News.
The numbers are now out when it comes to building a new state house in Montgomery. Retirement Systems of Alabama has been contracted to design and build the state house. The cost is now estimated to be $325 million, according to RSA CEO David Bronner. The state can either buy the property from the RSA after construction is completed, or they can regain it over a 25-year lease and buyback agreement. Once construction is completed, the old State House will be torn down and replaced with a green space. The $325 million covers the construction only, not the demolition or green space creation. The project is expected to be completed by 2027. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Brian Dawson here, CEO of 1819 News. I'm also the host of 1819 News, the podcast, and we'd love for you to join us by listening to our weekly show on all the top podcast apps, both in audio and video format. At 1819 News, the podcast, we are in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama. Every week, we're having important conversations with guests from across this great state, all with the goal of equipping Alabamians to be in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama with us. New episodes are released weekly. I hope you'll join us.
Another shooting in Mobile has tragically taken the life of an innocent child while she was sleeping on a couch. The 9-year-old girl was at a home on Rhett Drive when the shots were fired on Monday night. Mobile Police Chief Paul Prine made a statement that was covered by Fox 10 TV News.
Here we are again, dealing with another senseless act of violence where a child has lost her life. A senseless act.
And the names are now released of the 2 persons on board a small plane that crashed in Elkmont on Monday. 67-year-old William Houston and 31-year-old Nickel Desai died in that crash. Both were from Huntsville. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hunting season is here. It's time for you to get on over to Prattville Farm Center. Here's Randy to tell you all that he's got on the shelf for you to buy.
We got some good deals. We have seed mixes from WMS, Pennington, Kelly Seed. We have every kind of seed you could possibly want. So y'all come on down here and we'll get them green fields planted. By the way, if you need sprayer parts for your equipment, we got that too. Come on down. 1154 South Memorial Drive in Prattville, 365-5400, 365-5400.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. We got Eddie Bader in the house.
In the house?
You said you wanted to talk about the border?
Well, I just saw, I was amazed, and I even thought it was a typo. Southern border yesterday, they've had 12,000 encounters in one day. Can you imagine that, Joey? I don't know how many people monitor that border, but let's say there's 100 of them. 12,000 people you're dealing with. Not many of them are going to speak English. None of them got ID.
Oh, no, but the process has become a pretty exact science. Like, people know the drill. Like, they seriously, It's pretty orderly. Everybody lines up and waits to be processed. And
that doesn't make me feel any better, I got to be honest.
Right.
I wish the process was slower.
And I think that's exactly what that dope up there, John Kirby now talking live, talking about, well, what we need is immigration reform and the border system is broken. So we legally want to be able to process more folks and just let in whoever we want.
Right.
Oh, and by the way, we want to grant amnesty, especially if all these folks who came in illegally want to serve in the United States military.
You know that's coming. And there's also places in the United States, cities, that are going to allow them to start voting. And they'll say, oh, we're just letting them vote on municipality things right now.
Well, it's just everything reminds you. These are mostly just white-collar thugs. That's how I would put it. They are white-collar thugs. They will lie.
Yeah.
They will cheat.
Yes.
They will steal. And yes, they will hurt you or kill you if necessary. I'm talking, of course, about the government.
Yeah, but what kills me is
the tale as old as time.
We're standing here watching this happen. And most of us, and what can you do? What can you, me, 3, 4, 10 people do when our entire government is against us? Stop paying taxes. That's what you can do.
Tax revolt would be kind of fun. Be fun.
All you can do.
Let's go to the phones, talk to Papa John. Hey, Papa John.
Joey, I'm going to go along with the train of thought right here. Eddie, you're going to love it.
Okay.
Last week, I heard on the radio that currently the bill for the illegal immigrants has hit $451 billion.
Yep.
Okay? Let's take that and let's use the legal citizenship of the United States of America, which last I heard before the illegal immigrants started coming in was about 330 million. If you take those two figures and carry them on out, that means for every man, woman, and child in the United States that's legal citizen, you could give them over $135,000 each. Think about what kind of house a family could buy, let's say 2 adults, 2 children, if the government, instead of giving it to the illegal immigrants, had just written us all a check. Eddie, how many houses can you sell?
Quite a few. Quite a few.
And especially when you're talking about 4 people, you know, that's a $500,000 plus house.
Yeah. But if
the other thing that has occurred to me, and think about this for a minute. The last figure I heard was what? They got 20 million something they think is coming to the United States.
At least.
Or thereabouts. All right, do the math on that. Figure out how much they're spending per immigrant to get them in here and house them, give them cell phones, all the rest of it.
It's $5 to $7 grand a month right now.
It's scary.
Right.
It is scary. And here, you know, they're talking about he's going to run out of money at the end of the year. It's no wonder. I mean, they're spending it like a drunk sailor,
right?
And they don't even have it.
Right, we don't have
it. Well, yeah, and this is what really makes me wonder about people. Of course, they probably hadn't done the math, but if they've done the math and they look at how much money has been taken out of their pocket, why are they so infuriated that they're at the White House again, like a January 6th, and this time burning it to the ground? Because this is just not how you run government. You can't do that.
But I think that's what the lesson that the Democrats wanted to teach Americans over January 6th.
Bingo. Bingo. Yeah. Look, guys, y'all keep at it. Love what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Papa John. I mean, if you were just in the city, they're following you now. FBI's tracking you. You were just in the city on that day.
Why would you want to be in that city?
Say you had a layover. Say you were going to look at museums that day. You don't know. You don't know the plan.
Right,
I mean, you're just taking my family up to D.C. We're going to show them how our government works. Whoops.
Hey, kids, let's go to the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
Let's go to Randall. Hey, Randall.
What's up, Randall?
What's going on, fellas? Man, I hate to tell you, but Illinois is already letting illegals join the police force. They were the first ones to do it. And there's been 2 other states. Of course, California is all in on it.
Oh, sure.
And we shut down 6 illegal Chinese prisons. Now, 6 of them that we say are illegal, but we also let a nonprofit operate 2 other Chinese prisons right here in the United States. It's operated by a charity run by the United States, but they spy on nationalists.
Sure.
It's one of the things they put in my hand for. I don't think we as popular. I don't even know how to say this, man. They are getting it ready. They're going to have this military within 8 years ready to turn guns on the citizens. Because they got so many illegals coming in and pouring in, they don't have, they're not going to have the same connection that we have at this place. I mean,
I agree.
And what we done to China back in the 1800s, sending all the opioids over there, flooding the opioids, getting them all hooked. They letting them turn around and send fentanyl over here with all these young military-aged men, and I think our north border is what we got to watch out for, is the big heads coming in. Like, I think our military, CIA in Alaska, bring them in that way, and that scares me more than us watching the south border now, because it's so out of control. I mean, who was gonna come in that way that needed to be watched? They here. You know what I mean? They here.
They're here.
So we in trouble, folks. I mean, when it comes to our military, they're getting them ready to take our guns away.
So, Randall, answer me this, buddy. Let's say what happens in Chicago or Illinois when a illegal immigrant that's become a police officer shoots an American citizen.
And then you won't ever hear about it.
Let's say he shoots a black American citizen.
Man, we might need to make that happen, bro. You just said a mouthful of this. You just said a mouthful then. Like, I'm talking about, we can pull off fake murders all the time. Yeah, that's easy. Man, yeah, I know you watched that movie. It has, what's the name, man, where they was in there, in Russia, and he had that fake bullet, shot the dude in the back. Man, it's I'm just talking mess, but like that would be a way to bring it out.
Did everybody start drinking at 2:00?
No, I just came up with a scenario. What's going to happen? My point is, that's what will have to happen to get the nation's attention.
I see what you're saying now.
That's what has to happen. Because right now, we've all know that's going on in Chicago with the illegal immigrants coming in. But until it affected some of the black residents, until they started complaining, nothing was said. Now they're actually getting some attention.
Right. Maybe they get more than I'm thinking. I think it's too quiet. I don't think we're talking enough.
I agree.
We shut down six unauthorized prisons, but we still got some run by charities right here. I I don't understand how we don't. I wish I had the ability to dig into that deeper without getting killed, but that'd be a place to start, man, right there for real. If somebody really had the cojones.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it, fellas, man.
Take care, Randall.
I guess we just look for our families to grow and cherish, and that's what we can have hope and happiness around.
That's it, buddy.
All right, brother. We'll see y'all.
See you, homie.
Yeah, I was having a good day. You're taking a dark place.
No, I'm just. Tell me if I'm wrong. Educate me.
Oh, okay, I'll educate you.
Please.
You know, you're probably one of those types because you want to see that movie, The Lady Ballers, by the Daily
I
Wire.
don't know. You're kind of talking me out of it.
Good. But I'm trying to save you. I'm trying to help you be on the right side of history.
Nah, I gave up on that a long time ago.
Well, that's your first problem. You never give up unless you're going to rehab because rehab is for quitters.
That's right.
But you need to learn a little something about all these things going on.
Teach me, man. Teach me what I don't know.
So here is the National Women's Law Center president, Fatima Goss.
Is she even a woman? Let's just start with that. Is she even a woman? I don't know. I'm just asking.
I don't know. Fatima Goss Graves. I got her pulled up on the live stream.
She looks
right
ladylike, but I've been fooled before.
Luck be a lady tonight. Or oh wow.
Right. Sorry, dude.
Look at those dice. Anyway, Fatima's going to inform us on how we're being, how people need to change their expectations.
All right.
When it comes to, especially like people born as men playing, once they transition in female sports.
Okay, that goes right back to my first question.
Hey, shut up and learn.
I'm trying.
And success in school sports depends on a whole range of factors, including how hard you work and coaching. And
how hard you work and coaching.
And access to really good resources and facilities.
Okay.
Silly.
And trans students participate in sports for the same reason as their kids, because it is fun, because it creates belonging and community, because it teaches so much about persistence and leadership and discipline, unless they learn to lose gracefully, hopefully. And often,
no, the hope is that they win. The hope is that they win.
And they learn to win with dignity, hopefully. They learn to do the sort of work that means you have higher grades and stay connected to school. I want every kid to have that chance, to have the chance to play. So I feel compelled to just end my testimony with a few ideas for the committee to pursue if it really wants to work on this issue. We could make it safer for student athletes who report harassment and sexual misconduct. We could address resource
Riley Gaines just recently addressed that, and she was pretty much mocked pretty well for saying, you know, when I'm in a ladies' locker room, I don't like to look over and see some dude.
And see some penis.
Right.
There's a penis in the women's locker room. I'll just say it.
I just, if you had a daughter, would you allow her, the first time she came home and said, hey, Dad, they're letting the dudes undress in the girls' locker room at junior high now. What do you do? Legally, the only thing you do is pull your kid out of school.
Yeah, I would.
And I would do that immediately.
Yeah.
I can't say the illegal
I was thinking
parts.
of the illegal option.
Right.
It's like, you want to see it.
But when you do that, and
right
you're a citizen of the United States, you're perfectly allowed legally to do that, you're called a bigot.
That was the perfect encapsulation, though, of sort of the crystal worshipping frou-frou social justice crap. You notice she lists all sorts of stuff that you learn community and discipline and losing with grace and also winning with dignity. It's like you're completely ignoring where this is a huge problem, which is at the elite level, especially for females in college that have worked their tail off
right
in order to compete at an elite level, and all of a sudden a guy who's ranked 400 something as a male swimmer is now #1 in the country as a woman.
Yeah. Steve, great swimmer.
That has nothing to do with sports. Nope. That has everything to do with your delusions.
Mm-hmm. I'll never understand it. I'm a big to each their own kind of person. But when you do that kind of thing and it affects my life, you're no longer each to your own. You're trying to bring me into a world I don't want to be a part of. So I have two choices. Separate myself and my family from that, or I can live with it. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. And, you know, to have to pay public schools, taxes money for public schools, and private school was a burden. And it was a financial burden, but in the end, it was worth it. That was 15 years ago. This wasn't a problem 15 years ago. I can only imagine now. And how many people are stuck? Just stuck. My parents would have been. There were 6 of us. They couldn't afford to put us in private school.
Right. It's amazing that we're at this. I wondered for years, where's the next envelope being pushed, so to speak, and I didn't ever think it was like that. Well, some women are born with a penis. Eddie, you need to get with the times. 272-9228. Fittingly, this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. If you're a man and you're noticing a lack of motivation, a lack of energy, a lack of drive, it could be you're physically tired, mentally tired, just kind of don't have that edge you used to have. Well, it could be low T.
Very well could be.
Low testosterone. And at Montgomery Men's Health, that's what they specialize in. They can help you men out if you're experiencing any of these symptoms. But what you need to do is to make an appointment first.
Right.
Call them at 440-3663. That's 440-3663.
Easy to make an appointment.
You can always do it online, too, at montgomerymenshealth.com. Very easy to make an appointment. And it's to understand your testosterone score. Just a quick blood draw, $99.
Right.
And you can know your testosterone numbers. It also gets you a PSA score, which is a great marker for prostate health.
Yes, it is.
Less invasive way.
Very much less invasive,
than when you get a little older. But if you do have low T, they have treatments there at Montgomery Men's Health, and a whole schedule, different types of treatments, depending on where you are in life, that will truly change your life. Most men, after these treatments, experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. Brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns. You may even notice an increased libido.
It's pretty good, Joey.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I don't know anybody that'll turn that down.
So again, that number, 440-3663. Montgomery Men's Health has been helping so many men here in the River Region. You won't be the first and you won't be the last. Be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the afternoon, those clowns on the radio yelling about penises in girls' locker rooms, tell them we sent you. You don't have to say the thing about the locker room.
Be a good idea. Keep that between us.
But it is in the news.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not trying to be provocative. Just trying to be honest.
Going through the headlines, aren't you?
Because I'm not using any of the other words for penis. I want to.
No.
Frickin'. Again, passive-aggressive girl boss bullcrap. Run by miserable, middle-aged, affluent women that want to poison society with too much estrogen. And they want to put it all in the men and all the testosterone in the women. In the name of social justice, from Soma to sex changes for kids, aren't we bending the arc of history towards justice, folks?
No, thank you.
Frickin' joke. Hey, we'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going. But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. Did you know the current national average turn time to close on a mortgage is 48 business days? But not at Alabama Home Mortgage. At Alabama Home Mortgage, our average close time is 16 business days. That's a month faster than the rest. How do we do it? With over 60 years of combined experience in the industry. Our team knows mortgages. Our years of experience yield a better experience for our customers. Folks, time is money. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, don't waste time with another mortgage company, bank, or credit union. We close on time, every time. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our fast turn time is just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586368, Equal Housing Lender.
This holiday season is about more. Not more presents and shopping, more you. That's why at Montgomery Men's Health, we're celebrating the season of connection. Connecting with your family, with true friendships, and with yourself. We are treating erectile dysfunction with the least invasive, most advanced treatment options. We've been the local support team helping men get that spark back in the bedroom, on the job, at the gym, and everywhere life takes you. To celebrate this season of connection, we're giving away free B12 at our Montgomery clinic with every office visit for those who medically qualify. Our commitment is to take care of men, because men who feel alive will change the world. Don't wait to experience the difference our team at Montgomery Men's Health can make. Do it for your career. Do it for your family. Do it for your love life. Do it for you. Because the most meaningful present you can give is a man who is fully present. To give the gift of you this year, call now, 334-440-3663, or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to set up a consultation and lab panel today.
I'm here with Miss Dot at the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall. Dot, the place is looking festive.
Yes, Christmas is definitely here.
I can see lots of things around here that would be great for Christmas.
The booths are stocked with everything you need for the Christmas season. And you know we enjoy your visits to see us and helping us keep up all those old good traditions and maybe starting a few new ones. But we love seeing each and every one of you.
What if somebody's looking for a special gift?
We've got the china, of course, and the crystal and the furniture, and we have the vinyl records and silver plate and jewelry and whatever else you think you want.
All right, Dot, give us those hours of operation.
Monday through Friday is 10 until 6. Saturday is 9 until 6. And Sunday is 12:30 to 4:30.
That's the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall, 425 Coliseum Boulevard. And for Miss Dot and Mr. Gary and the McDaniel family, they wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thanks for shopping Eastbrook.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. News and Views in the afternoon. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Duke. Hey, Duke.
Good afternoon, Duke.
What up? What up? What up?
Oh, you just listen to that segment. You know what's up.
Yeah, I heard it in Randall.
Am I wrong, Duke? If I'm wrong, please tell me.
in Randall. No. Hold on now. You and Randall, y'all need to pitch in together, get me some of this high-tech body armor now, and helmet and all of that.
Okay.
So you know, go get me all that gear right there. See?
Okay.
And but no, man, no, you can't be putting no thing on our head like that right there, brother, man.
Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, then please correct me.
What you trying to say? So we gotta. So in other words, if we got to raise hell a little bit, we get something done. What you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is, in that area of Chicago, when people were very invitive of immigrants, and once they realized those immigrants were eating up their resources, they put up a stink, they put up some complaints, and things were actually starting to happen in their favor. So, but if they've allowed illegal immigrants to become police officers, what happens when a police officer shoots somebody in Chicago? Well, in my opinion, if he shoots a white guy, it'll be buried. But if he shoots a black person, I think the black community will start raising more cane about that when actually get more traction than anybody else. That's all I'm trying to say.
It wouldn't be because of the illegal guy. It'd be because he's a police officer, first of all.
Well, there you go. I didn't even consider that.
That may weigh a little weight, one way or the other, give or take. But No, they look at the police. Anybody, whether black or white nowadays, if you're police, you're a target with these, people that violence against the police, anyways. But now I just couldn't up with you guys on that a little bit. I still want that body armor though.
That stuff ain't cheap.
Mr. Randall, help me out, man. Come on, get the good stuff. I know you have access to it.
I can tell you it ain't cheap, man. I've seen some of the stuff that I don't even think is really legal, and just the upper body protection's like 50, 60 grand. So, and that was of the chain mesh stuff. So, yeah.
Well, if we want to, we need to do that then if we want to put our teachers in the arms of criminals that may come in and shoot us from the schools, okay?
Why don't we just put the cops in the school? I don't understand this.
No, give them this kind of body armor, then we can go there, okay? But otherwise, I'm going to run too. If I see a guy with a gun coming toward me.
Dude, that's why you and me ain't cops. That's
why
we ain't cops.
I hope the next man has sense enough to run if somebody coming toward him and he don't have the firepower to shoot back. Hell, he got to leave here.
No, the plan for me is I ain't fighting anybody. I'm a lover, not a fighter. They can.
You just love them to death?
And bug my phone. People around my home only see you and me making love inside.
Walk over.
All right.
Walk over, give him a big ass hug before he shoots
Right.
you.
Exactly.
That's what I'm wondering. Or if Joey, if you know you're fixing to get your butt whooped, go ahead and start getting naked.
Right.
Because a dude ain't going to fight you if you're naked.
Well, not in this day and age. Who knows?
Oh, I didn't think about
Right.
that.
Like, did you hear the last segment again? Did you hear the last segment? No, but I'm going to go off grid. I'm going to get a Cybertruck.
Oh, yeah?
And like a satellite thing.
Okay.
And have satellite internet.
Okay.
And, yeah. And I'm going to broadcast remotely like a pirate. and I'm going to tell the truth until they come and shoot me.
Yeah, they'll come pretty quick, Joey.
I never told y'all the story about this. I went by one time and I was back at the crib and went by and hollered at one of my old girlfriends, ex-girlfriend when I was younger, and old boyfriend showed up.
Oh.
Old jealous boyfriend.
Oh.
And he went and got the gun.
Oh.
He pointed at me, boy. Mary talking about somebody sweet talking and nice and oh man, I was big,
You tell them they make a good couple. Y'all make a fine couple.
Man, I was big worse than that female dog. I was trying to get the word out yesterday. Y'all wouldn't let me say. But anyway, man, this fool, you know what he did? He was so upset with me that he walked in the other room for a second and left the damn shotgun. He left it laying on the sofa. But hell, I got on out of there.
That was the best thing to do.
Wise move.
Yeah. These jealous men,
Who, jealous men are one thing.
I wonder how I kept her.
Jealous
I wonder
women.
how I kept her to start with, man.
Jealous women are much worse, Duke. Much worse. Huh? Jealous women are much worse, man.
I had a buddy had old jealous wife, but she tried to be undercover with hers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he told me to come by. I said, come by the house and I need to ride to the club. I went by and picked him up and shoot, man, he I'm still single at the time. He had gotten married, so he claimed he had it going on, like he could leave and go where he want to.
That's why you had to pick him up.
Yeah, I went by and picked him up and he said, yeah. I said, can he go? I said, okay, he can go with me. He said, yeah. She said, yes. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw her she grabbed a handful of his meat on his side. She grabbed a hand of it and pinched him. And no, damn, that man really know,
Mm-hmm.
And after that, man, he got around to telling me that I think I'll stick on around here, Okay, I saw what happened.
Yeah.
Pinch the shit out of you. Pinch you and told you can't do that, dude.
It happens. But I tell you, I've seen a jealous one time. A friend of mine dated a girl. They had a really ugly breakup, but she was smart enough to go get paint thinner and pour it on the roof of his car in the middle of a rainstorm. So it got his gaskets for around his windows, the door. It ruined that car.
Yeah.
Ruined it. But he had her on video.
She needs to be in prison.
Well, he had her on video, and there were some charges filed. But
good.
In the end.
Well, this is what you do, ladies, to get back your men. You should be in prison.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, it literally looked like what you would think, paint thinner on a car. It took all the paint off the roof. It ruined that car.
Hey, Joey,
Yeah.
I hate to do this to you, Joey, but you won't have to worry about that with Moo Moo now. Moo Moo, not scared, Joey.
No,
I still don't know who this Moo Moo is.
I got a feeling she ain't going to mess with paint thinner. She'll just snatch him up.
I'm gone.
See you, dude.
272-9228. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And there at River Region Contracting, Todd Clark and his team are ready to help you with that roof of yours.
Oh, yeah.
Home is probably your most expensive and long-term
no doubt
investment. And one of the biggest parts of your home is your roof.
Yes, sir, it is.
And, well, they're a premier roofing contractor there at River Region Contracting because they actually, number one, show up on time.
Mm-hmm.
They get the job done well, whether it's an asphalt or a metal roof. They don't leave a big mess either. And here's the great news, folks. If you're just looking for an inspection to give you peace of mind that your roof's all right, that inspection, free.
Absolutely free, Joey.
Always free. And their estimates are also always free. And they're a team of insurance specialists there at River Region Contracting. So if they do find a problem with your roof your insurance might cover, they could walk you through that claims process and make it an easy and pleasurable experience. They're that good there. You don't usually associate pleasure with insurance claims processes.
But when you got a good team like them behind you,
yeah, there's a reason they're considered the premier roofing contractor here in the River Region. So give River Region Contracting a call today, 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell Todd Clark and that great team there that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the Afternoon sent you. I've got to hit another break here, but in a second, I'm not sure if this man has if he has a membership in the male sex anymore, but Al Gore is back on the scene.
Really?
And he's talking about the latest threat to democracy.
I thought he was out saving the world somewhere else.
Super serial, guys.
Hey, if it wasn't for the internet. Thanks, Al Gore.
Well, that's what I'm actually talking about, Eddie. The internet is now a threat. Social media is now a threat.
He invented the internet.
To democracy. I invented the internet. I didn't invent Facebook. All right. Yeah, Al Gore opened his big fat pig mouth. Big fat piggy.
Worthless, man. Worthless.
I'm pretty sure Tipper keeps his pear in a jar somewhere. Just go watch those PMRC hearings.
Oh, yeah, back in the
Where
day?
it's all these senators like, well, my wife doesn't like the music you're making. It's like, seriously.
Well, your wife don't buy my album, so I don't
Like,
care.
when did the girl boss crap happen?
I'll tell you off air.
Is this why I'm still single? Because I don't want to put up with this stupid crap?
You have standards.
Anyway, we'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hey folks, remember the good old days when Christmas gifts had us playing outdoors? Well, these days, kids only ask for an electronic device that keeps them cooped up inside. So, parent or grandparent, take charge this Christmas and get the entire family enjoying the great outdoors with a Hammerhead go-kart by Polaris from CTE Outdoor Power. Now, everyone knows go-karts are fantastic family fun, and whether it's a small kids cart, a medium-sized youth model, or a large full performance machine for teens and adults, Hammerhead carts have the quality, safety, and performance you expect from Polaris. Don't have a place to hide a cart until Christmas? No problem. Whether you take advantage of our 0% interest financing, layaway, or purchase your Hammerhead cart, CTE will store the cart through December 23rd. So call, click, or come by today and reserve your Hammerhead at CTE Outdoor Power, I-85 at Perry Hill Road and CTEOutdoorPower.com.
Hi, I'm Rebecca, owner of Smart Skin Med Spa and Salon. Are you looking for that perfect holiday gift? Get that special someone a gift certificate to use on the services they love. Smart Skin Med Spa and Salon, the only salon, med spa, and day spa located in the heart of downtown Prattville.
Hi, this is Jason with Wholesale Hunter. We've been advertising with Blue Water for a while now. We have great results with them. Appreciate everything they do with us.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by H&H Carpets, where you will find a complete line of Mohawk carpet with exceptionally clean, smart strand fiber. It's always available and ready to be installed. H&H Carpets across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway.
Rich Thomas weather.
We've got some chilly air to deal with for at least a couple of days before we start to moderate. Today will be a rather brisk day. Sunshine, but chilly, high in the middle 50s, but northerly winds gusting as high as 20 miles per hour will add to the chill. Clear and cold tonight. Low temperature down to about 31 by dawn on Thursday. Look for cool sunshine tomorrow, high in the upper 50s. Friday's nice, with a high around 66 and more sun. Then the risk of scattered showers and thunderstorms arriving by Saturday afternoon, becoming likely Saturday night and early in the day on Sunday before ending. Saturday's high near 70. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hey, I tell you some things off air in confidence, sir.
I'm hooking up security cameras for your house now. Be happy.
I like these boots. Don't be making
No, they're
fun of them.
good-looking boots, but I bought...
No, these are proper boots, folks, so it's a wooden sole. And, like, there's some rubber grips on the main part of the foot, but the heel is just wood. And so if you go heel first on a wet day...
You're going to be looking at them feet, pointing at the sky.
But let's get super serial with Al Gore. Now, he's not talking about climate change in this clip, and he's not talking about girls born with a penis. No, what he's talking about is how social media is a threat to democracy. So let's listen in to the former Vice President of the United States, Oscar winner. That's how much I care about it, burping through it.
I see.
But he's an Oscar winner.
Oh, he's looking old.
Yeah, doesn't he look like... Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Let's listen into this pig here.
Have social media that is dominated by algorithms that pull people down these rabbit holes that are a bit like pitcher plants. These algorithms, they are the...
Wait, what did he just say?
Pitcher plants?
Pitcher plants?
Not sure.
What are pitcher plants? Hold on, let's back it up, Al. His accent is getting worse with age.
Yeah.
Pull people down these rabbit holes that are a bit like pitcher plants. These algorithms, they are the digital equivalent of AR-15s. They ought to be banned. They really ought to be banned. It's an abuse of the public forum. But when people are pulled down these rabbit holes, you know what's at the bottom of the rabbit hole? That's where the echo chamber is.
I thought it was going to be a rabbit.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a rabbit.
Yeah.
When we were able to control the entire conversation, that wasn't an echo chamber. Should we invade Iraq? I don't know, maybe we should. Should we invade Iraq? Yeah, let's invade Iraq.
I heard that we should.
But now that people are actually free to disagree with your uppity asses, that all of a sudden, well, that's got to be banned. These algorithms are just like an AR-15.
And if you spend too much time in the echo chamber, what's weaponized is another form of AI, not artificial intelligence, artificial insanity. I'm serious. QAnon is just the best known version of artificial insanity. And these devices are the enemies of self-government, and they're the enemies of democracy. We need reforms for both democracy and capitalism. Both sets of reforms are possible.
So for freedom and democracy, for a good public forum, they have to infringe on your freedom. So that we can make sure that democracy has the results we want.
How are you going to pay attention?
Right.
Why would you pay attention?
I love that there are millions and millions, not just Americans, maybe billions of people around the world now going, man, guys like that are full of crap.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, there was another crash to their little climate study that they put out that said, maybe about these rising temperatures, maybe where'd you guys put those thermometers? Oh, in the middle of a city? Where you know that cities draw in more heat because of all the concrete? You ever just think about that? And they just started nailing all these different things where they've told us, the tide is rising. Remember, the oceans are rising.
Oh, Al Gore predicted it.
Right. Well, last time I saw a picture of Plymouth Rock, it looked just the same as, 20 years ago. The tide didn't look any higher or any lower.
And they're still the rich and famous like Al are still buying coastline property.
Exactly right. And how are they flying
Oceanside,
around?
Lakeside.
They're not flying commercial, Joey.
No.
G5, baby. G5 jets.
Well, G5 is that's a way to live, right?
I mean, if you got it.
No, but it's just, they've been on this since the early 90s, folks. I crap you not. Go look up Rush Limbaugh Time Magazine. And it's a great picture of Rush. I think it's from 94. 1994. Mm-hmm. And it's Rush with the cigar in his hand and the smoke billowing around his big old face. And the headline is something like Rush Limbaugh, biggest man in talk radio, whatever. And then the subtitle is how talk radio and electronic populism is a threat to democracy. In 1994.
So they've been pushing this crap for quite a while.
Right. Again, what they mean by democracy, they mean our hegemony. When you hear democracy, you should think, actually, it's the oligarchy of experts that don't want to actually persuade you or even persuade themselves. They just want you to sit down and shut up because they're making too much money and they're changing the world and impacting the world in such an important way that you, peasant, need to get in line. And if you freely share information with your friends...
Yeah.
If you expect privacy and actual freedom to discuss controversial ideas, then you're like a Nazi.
Yeah.
You're just a QAnon kook.
Exactly. Conspiracy theorist.
So, these are the people we used to elect. Sometimes we still do. But I'm telling you what, Eddie, Democrats, Republicans, the establishment, no matter the party, they want their damn hooks in the internet. Because it worked for them for a little while. They praised it. The second coming, Barack Obama, look how he used social media. Look at how he used it, honey. It was amazing. This is the future. And as soon as it goes the other way, because people actually speak their minds, well, we can't have any of this.
It's the devil.
But whether it's protecting the children or national security, those are the two they use on you GOP conservative voters, by the way. Think of the children. Think of our national security. Sometimes it's in those two different tones of voice. The children. For the national defense.
But these are the same people that will send your children off to war. Just give them a chance.
Yeah. They're willing to up in entire nations to get their way.
Yeah.
They have no problem with it. It's like flicking a booger off their
Exactly
finger.
right. It's nothing to them.
Well, the Ukraine policies worked. Really? Hundreds of thousands dead. Worked.
In fact, they had to start their new draft policy from 17 to 70, female or male. But we were still sending them money. Yeah, this is going to work?
Yeah. Oh, no, we sent too much ammunition away from places like Israel.
Holy crap. Enemies found out. Israel gets under attack.
Yeah. I'm just tired of this.
Oh, by the way, pitcher plants.
Yeah.
Several people have texted and called in. They are carnivorous plants. They have modified leaves known as pitfall traps. So I guess like when a fly or something goes in there, it's like a funnel. Just
so that's what he was
talking
about?
He's saying the internet's going to consume
people
you.
down these rabbit holes that are a bit like pitcher plants. These algorithms, they are the digital equivalent of AR-15s. They ought to be banned. They really ought to be banned. It's an abuse of the public forum.
GFY, Al.
He could
GFY!
Could just describe the plant. He didn't have to compare it to AR-15 because it's really nothing like an AR-15. I mean, nothing.
I don't want to hear them talk about liberty at all. kind of tired of both major parties talking about liberty whatsoever.
Thank you.
You care about the party. You care about the power of your party. You
Party.
care about the power of the people that fund your stupid campaigns.
They believe in party over country.
You could give a damn about actual principled stands most of the time.
It's both parties. It ain't just one.
272-9228. How about a palate cleanser real quick?
Please. Got some acid I could gargle?
No, this is out of, I think, Australia.
I used to like Australia.
Australia. And I'll start playing it here now.
Right.
If you're watching on the live stream, what are we looking at there, Eddie?
Oh,
We have a little
friend. It's a gator swimming around with a bunch of sharks. In the middle of the ocean, apparently.
Yeah, and it's
there's-
not a big gator.
No, not a big one. Maybe a 7-8 footer. It looks like some folks are trying to catch a tow rope or something to the boat.
Yeah.
We get out in the middle of the ocean. Looks like at night. And I don't know how many of those bull sharks are around, but I'm counting 7 or 8 at least.
Well, and in just a second here, you see, it's like, no, they're not coexisting at all.
You see that?
Wow. Now, the gator got away. The shark tried to bite down on him. Here it is in
You just
slow-mo.
want a little taste.
Ooh.
You just want a little taste. What's that alligator taste like?
Now, did you do that in school back when you were, wearing your leather jacket and watching animal shows?
Did I do what?
Did you and your friends do the, what would win, a tiger or
Oh, yeah.
a lion or a gorilla or a great
A
white
bear or a
shark?
gorilla.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a fun game to play, actually.
It is. And lots of arguments. Believe it or not, kind of dumb arguments, but they make sense. A gorilla versus a bear. I would think, honestly, I thought...
I'd go with the bear.
Me too at first, Joey.
But the gorilla has more strength.
Yes.
And has an incredible bite strength and all this stuff. But gorillas don't fight. They intimidate each other.
Right.
But they really don't fight one another. They're not chimps.
Until the other one doesn't fall for the intimidation. And like a bear,
Yeah,
now a
it's
bear is
interesting
going to
if a gorilla
attack.
was forced to fight.
Right, now a bear is going to attack, so that's going to trigger that gorilla. But that was my thought too, that the bear immediately will attack. So he's on the aggressive side. But the strength of that gorilla?
But like a lion, lions are the ones that are the true hunters that will go for giraffe and other big game if
They make
need
the
to.
lionesses do it, but yeah.
No, the lioness.
Yeah, they make them do it.
I wouldn't mind to marry a lioness. Not literally. I'm not like some other kin. Like,
No, but
Joey
that's-
thinks he's a beast of the jungle now. Those are my
Joey of the jungle?
My pronouns are Mufasa Simba. All right. No, but yeah, those are fun games to play. Like, who would win?
What about, let me ask you, you or 6 12-year-olds? Who would win? You, and you take on 6 12-year-olds.
Do they have weapons?
Nope.
This is bare hand.
Fisticuffs, 6 12-year-olds and Joey.
I could whoop 6 12-year-olds.
Okay. I'll be back. I'm going to go get a couple 12-year-olds.
No, the trick is you take out each one very efficiently.
Yeah, while the rest of them are beating the crap out of you, you're focusing on one. Hey, old man, they know about your
No,
knees.
but you have to be swift about it.
Again.
You have to be the aggressor. If you got 6 12-year-olds on hand, it could get hairy pretty quick.
Yes, it
So
will.
you have to be the aggressor.
I don't know
and
if you've
use your
seen-
strength and speed
Have you
against
seen
them quickly.
12-year-olds nowadays?
I mean, some of them are very tubby, but
I wouldn't go with tubby. Some of them are pretty strong, Joey. Grown
Pretty-
men out there,
pretty
12
yoked.
years old. I've seen a few of them. Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's a 12-year-old.
Just saying.
Would you think the 12-year-olds would beat you?
Yeah.
Really?
I got bad knees, man. The
Mine
first
aren't
time
that
2 of them get on my back and I go to my knees, I ain't getting back up.
No, I'm just playing this out, and I'm like, no, I think I could take
think
them.
too, once 1 or 2 got you down, the crowd mentality is going to take over on those other 4, and they're just going to rip you apart.
Yeah, maybe. But it only takes 1 or 2 good shots from me.
How about you?
Take out a
and
12-year-old.
Say 3 or 4 random 20-something-year-olds,
Me and 3 or 4 something.
and we'll tie one hand behind every one of them's back.
No, like true, like college kids.
No, I was going to take you down to the Ripley Street Motel.
No. You start getting into like grown men. No, I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover, like I said earlier.
Well, you gonna love them to death?
That might work, actually. It's not that I'm actually that way. It's just an intimidation
It's an
tactic.
intimidation
Yeah,
factor.
yeah.
It works. I've seen it. Lots of videos. There's that guy that on TikTok, he'll go down in Compton and he'll try to start fights with people, and then he just starts getting naked, and they're like, "Dude, what are you doing?" And suddenly they don't want to fight no more. Neither do I.
Hey, we got to hit a break.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Joey Clark.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Is your cell phone or iPad cracked, broken, or not working right? Don't let the big carrier stores sucker you into a new $1,100 device. Let XI Repair fix your device today. XI Repair fixes cell phones, computers, laptops, iPads, game consoles, drones, and more. Their certified technicians fix hundreds of devices every day. When your device needs care, call XI Repair, 334-777-1234, or Google XI Repair. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. One of the commenters is saying, Eddie, who is it? Rip Rap?
Yeah.
He's saying, how in the H does Joey know how many shots it takes from him to take out a 12-year-old? Like science?
There's science?
And basic math and science and physics?
So if you do 2 and 2, you can take out a 12-year-old?
Would you learn a book? And stop second-guessing me.
You throwing the
Off
science
airs,
out.
could you beat up 3 women?
I'm asking. And what was your answer?
It depends on the women.
I don't think that was your
Do
answer.
they have weapons? Am I fighting Ronda Rousey or Becky, who, you know?
They fight you with words. They just crush you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all want to try to beat my own self-loathing? Go ahead, ladies. Let's go to Ray Bowles. Hey, Ray.
What's happening, Ray?
Y'all got me thinking, guys. Man, years ago, I don't know, maybe 5-7 years ago, I got an alligator tag.
Oh, yeah.
On the Selma River, over there by Selma on the Alabama River.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you, do you know how to catch and kill an alligator?
I know how I've seen it done on the TV.
Okay, so what you've got to do, you got to get 3 buddies. Now, I got me and Ron and Seth Hayden. Seth Hayden was one of our real close buddies. Now, the problem in that scenario is I sell carpet, Ron's a police officer, and Seth is a computer genius.
Okay.
We're not alligator people.
Right.
So the first night we go out, and it was a complete nutter butt. Nothing.
Okay.
We couldn't hook them. We could see them, but we couldn't do anything with them. But my neighbor to the right of me is an Apache helicopter pilot for the Marines. That's all you need. You go find you a Marine that flies an Apache helicopter, and it was game on. We ended up getting a 9-foot female after that evening, no time flat, and it was epic, absolutely epic. Yeah, but then he moved off. Me and Seth and then Ron moved off. It's just me and Seth left. So we don't do alligator hunting anymore.
Joey could be your third.
No.
He'd love to alligator.
No.
And he likes to go out at night.
I told you about that reoccurring dream I had as a child. No.
Everybody says, hey, you don't need ARs. Actually, you do. If you have land and you have hogs, there's only one real way to get rid of them.
That's right.
And they are destroying the environment. I mean, they're killing all the animals. All the turkeys are gone. All your deer are going to be gone because they eat the fawn and all the food.
The good news is even where Eddie's living and where I live, of course, there's no hog in sight.
I don't know.
Oh, we've got them in Hardaway. We've got them out in
in Hardaway.
We got a few on Lake Jordan.
Oh, we're running out of time here. You still sell carpet?
We do. It's that time of year where the family's coming in. You want to replace that floor. Give us a call, 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that free measurement. And next thing you know, you got a new floor down. Just that simple.
Appreciate you, Ray.
Take care, Ray.
Thanks, guys.
Again, 285-8117. And be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles here on the radio with
That's
Joey
right.
and Eddie. 15 seconds. Did we learn anything?
Nothing I would like to talk about.
Yeah.
Al Gore invented the internet. Just remember that.
No, I appreciate Jeff Poore. Appreciate Erica
Jeff Poore
Thomas.
was great today.
I appreciate Congressman Gary Palmer. I appreciate Bradley J. of Breitbart News.
Yeah.
We had a packed show today. Kind of went off the rails in the last hour, but that's
I don't
us.
know what happened.
Well, that's how the show usually goes.
Right. You see the first hour.
I seriously could beat up 6 12-year-olds, man.
I'm going to go get you 6 12-year-olds.
Man, but I don't want to get arrested for it.
No, we'll set it up. Be a charity event.
Happy Hour. Greg Bedell. He's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 90.